Hola, mi gente. So good to see you here. Hi, how are you? I'm okay. I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good too. And if you're not feeling good, you will be after tonight because it's always a good time on the block. So, welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I'm YouTube's bad girl and your favorite. Don't act like I'm not. Your favorite devil's advocate, okay? So welcome, welcome, welcome. You already know you can reach me on all social media platforms, On the Block with Jen on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Most importantly, On the Block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to join me or my panel or reach out for any reason, if you got a gripe about the show, if you have an idea for the show, if you want to collaborate with any of us, okay? On the Block with Jen at Gmail. Okay, you could throw topics in there as well for myself and my panel to dissect, okay? The only way that we can, because nobody dissects topics like we do on the blog. Also, you are welcome, more than welcome, to join us on the panel at any point in time, but we don't do this. We don't argue with you people that hide behind avatars. We like arguing with faces. Faces make for more interesting conversation. Now, I know I said tonight's topic was going to be one thing, but I changed it to the other, and I moved tonight's topic to tomorrow. Okay, it's going to be fireworks tomorrow. Tonight's going to be spicy too. It's going to be spicy too because we're going to mention some groups, right, that don't like to be mentioned, right? We going to mention them anyway. That's how we're going to get down on the block because we keeps it all the way real, right? All right, guys, so let's get this party started. I am late, so let's not delay any further. Thank you, Dwayne Rhodes, for the first super chat of the night. We didn't even warm up yet, and the super chats are coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dwayne Rhodes says, you and your team have a good stream tonight. Thank you. We shall, we shall. And speaking of super chats, you can also cash at me if you're catching the replay and you want to support the show and help mama keep the church lights on, because believe it or not, I got to pay for all of this. It's not free, okay? There has to be a budget. So if you want to support this show because you like what we do here, On the Block with Jen Cash app, okay? Whether I'm doing my laundry, dishes, or baking a pie, bling, 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 I will hear your Cash app come in. Also, the Cash app is specifically for people that don't like throwing money in the super chat because they don't want people knowing where their money is going. There are some people like that. So between you and me, you can use the Cash app in privacy, right? All right, guys. So let's get this show started. We are talking tonight about Michael B. Jordan went from simp to hero in the Manosphere overnight. And I want to dissect why. I have my theory. I don't know what my panelists are going to say, all right? But stick around and you'll hear for yourself. We don't always agree on the block because we're not supposed to. So let me bring my people up. Chat, hold me down, okay? I will be reading your comments in the chat. Of course, I see your comments better and hear them better when they're attached to a super chat. I know it's crazy, but my vision clears up in my ears. Like, I become a fennec fox for some reason. I could just hear you better. Strange, I know, but it happens. All right, so let me bring my people up. The always and talented and lovely and light of my life. You do not understand. Please follow, okay? This angel of mine, Lily from YB Limited. Hi,
Mama. Hello.
Hi.
You are giving me today. You know what you're giving me? I was trying to pull up the picture.
Who?
Okay. You're giving me a specific video from Cardi B. You know which one I'm talking about with Bad Bunny?
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I do know it, but she's wearing like a bigger, like a turban or something.
Yes.
I've never clicked play on the video, but I know what video you're talking about.
It's probably my favorite one by her, and she gives good visuals. But
really?
It's my favorite because it's just so soft and fun and flirty.
Okay. Well, you know what? For you, Lily, I will click play. I'm not a fan of hers, and I usually avoid clicking anything that she's on. But for you, I'm gonna fucking click play. You see how agreeable I am, folks?
Right.
You see that? I will click play for you. But I was like, let me give a little color and a little today, okay? Because I've been down low for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Pause. So, I was like, let me give them a little color. I felt like a little color. Plus, it's been raining like cats and dogs out here in Vegas, and it's very, very cold. I'm making it look like summer, but it's cold as a bitch in Vegas right now. So I was like, I'm going to be my own sunshine. But let me stop chatting and bring up the rest of the crew. Haran DeMarco, how are you, darling?
You bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now, aren't you, man?
Listen.
Ain't you
Bouncing
know?
off the goddamn walls,
It's
man.
a secret. It's a secret. Check this out. This says 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay, listen.
So that's what I'm on tonight. That's
I know
what
you don't do. I'm taking myself on a coffee date.
Okay, look. That's what I'm on tonight. That's what I'm on. So I'm ready to talk.
I bought the bottle of 200 milligrams of caffeine. It's in the back.
I've never done.
About 600. I do about 600 a day, man.
Shit. Okay, I don't do this. I'm not a Red Bull. I'm not a Red Bull girl. I'm not a caffeine girl. But I was like, let's see what happens. So let's see what we're all gonna find out in real time. Yeah.
Oh God,
yeah.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Now, if you get Parkinson's on us, listen.
Oh shit. My shit is different though. I got a lot going on.
We're not Parkinson's shaming. Please don't Gmail me about that. Okay.
Oh, all right. I forgot this is 2023.
Oh my God.
Right.
It's not 1993.
Exactly. Speaking of 1993, hey, No Saint. I love doing that too. I will connect No Saint to anything. It doesn't matter what you say.
Got the Latino Wonder Woman look going on here. I like
Thank you. I was like, let me do something different. Let me get some color, a little bit of color. You know what I'm saying? And Lily's giving face, but she's giving us black. That's okay. That's okay.
All right. It's been a long one, definitely should get some Cash Apps going today.
All right, let's go. Cash App, baby. So it's funny. Haran and I look like we're on two different coasts. I look like it's 95 degrees where I am. And Haran, you look like you're in New York.
Well,
yeah, pretty much, right?
Well, I don't know how New York is because I know the east side of the country, it's like almost record heat over here. And I want that cold front to switch. I want some cool air, man. You guys out
It's cold. It's cold for me. And it's true. When you move out of New York, like you become a punk when it comes to weather. Like when I was in New York, I'm out in the Timberlands in the bubble coat, right? It's like 15 degrees below zero. Yep. And now I live in Vegas, and if it's 40 anything, I'm like, it's too cold.
Yeah, it's true.
It's so cold.
Get a lot of rain out that way, though.
Yes. No, it's been pouring. It's been pouring. And I'm trying to catch it because I'm trying to do a reel. And part of the song is like, says something about rain. So I keep trying to catch the rain. I go outside and catch that. But it's never mind. I overthink shit. But
you want to know what the wine of the night is tonight?
Oh, yes. What are we drinking on?
So nothing compares to
Wait, pause. Before you say that, wait a minute. Are me and my second favorite colonizer on code? Are we both doing orange? Georgie Porgy. Okay, we're both doing orange. That's what I'm talking about. See?
Well, good evening, love. You and I must have been on the same wavelength today. You look
there
great.
You go. Thank you. There you go. Orange.
How art thou, George?
I am well. And Haran and No Saint. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you don't drink coffee, right?
No, sir. Never.
That's why you're opinion. I don't drink coffee either. And if I get caffeine, I'm wired.
Oh, that's why. So it's like everybody that normally drinks coffee is probably like, immune to it by now. Yeah, no? For the coffee drinkers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When I'm
so then riddle me this then. Why do the coffee drinkers, right? And the thing is, I'm Puerto Rican, as if y'all didn't know. So coffee is big in our family. I'm talking about there have been literally milk fights. Okay. In my parents' home, if someone drinks the last bit of milk and they can't make coffee, but this is not like, oh, let's have coffee in the morning. It's coffee in the day, coffee for brunch, coffee for lunch, coffee for like off till the nighttime.
That's me.
Okay. So see, even growing up in that environment, I just never liked the taste, specifically that aftertaste. I've never liked it. So I didn't get into it, but my whole family is coffee. So to the coffee drinkers, how do you not get immune to the caffeine if you drink it all the time? Is caffeine the drug that keeps on giving, or am I going to be immune to this soon?
It's a real drug. And the thing about coffee, especially a coffee drinker like me who drinks it 3 times a day, if you stop, those caffeine headaches will make you want to jump off a fucking bridge.
Really? So there's withdrawal.
Yeah, there is withdrawals. I don't get it that bad, but I will say that there are different kind of coffees now that you don't, and some of them aren't as bitter as others. It really depends. It really depends on where you go and get your coffee too. But
Okay.
I don't drink. I drink it in the morning. I'm a morning coffee drinker, but I drink throughout the day, like stuff that has caffeine in it, like root beer or Coke or something like that. So I get more caffeine during the day, but it definitely isn't. It doesn't have the effect on me like it would you, for sure.
I just get energy pills. I just basically get the caffeine itself, get energy pills, and I get energy pills that basically have a slow release. So I'll do like maybe 600 grams in the morning, boom, and it'll just like glide its way all the way down through the day. So I don't crash. So I don't necessarily drink like 3-4 cups of coffee, because that's how you get yourself fucked up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I actually go out there, get the supplements, have it go like, easy, you know what I mean? So by the time, it's time to go to bed, I'm cool. And you know what I mean? I just land correctly.
Now, Haran, do you do a pre-workout? Do you do a pre-workout or no?
Well, I don't have to do the pre-workout because that's 607 milligrams of fucking caffeine that I take.
Okay.
That shit has me fucking pumped and ready.
Okay.
So
Why does this sound like the prefix to us addressing coffee dates? It is not. We're going to get into a topic tonight.
Right. Somebody about to get excited.
I gotta give you my wine here. I was supposed to.
Yeah, what is it? What's your wine?
So this used to be like, before I tried that bottle I showed you last week, which is phenomenal. I had to get another bottle of that today. I'm getting at least 2 to have them around. But this is see, the Passport Bros and this is maybe the only thing we have in common. This is Yellowtail. Although I like wine.
Oh, I know Yellowtail.
I've heard that before.
And the Passport Bros Yellowtail might mean something else.
An Australian wine.
But it's not bad. It's not bad. It's good, actually. I like it. But it's just like nothing compares to what I had the other night. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. George Cocinar, George Cook. Clever, Georgie.
I like it.
Yeah, the other night I was, what did I say? The Spicy Rascal or something.
You sure did. Yeah. You sure did. A ti te gusta jugar en español, pero tú hablas español.
Poquito.
Okay, just checking. Just checking. Somebody said that ninja got like 15 kids. I don't know who that is. I don't know who they're referring to. So tonight's topic is Michael B. Jordan went from simp to hero in the Manosphere specifically. Okay. Before we get into that, did you guys hear Chris Rock will be addressing the Oscar slap on March 4th? And I'm excited for it. Very excited for it.
Yeah. I hope it's not a dud.
He's doing a Netflix special March 4th, and he's going to address the Oscar slap. Now, I want to comment on this real quick because a lot of people, and I'm gonna get a little serious with it. People are gonna be like, "No, don't go there." Yeah, I'm going there. We're gonna talk about race. Get ready, colonizers. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing, right? A lot of people are like, why is he still bringing this up? This happened a long time ago. Get over it, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. Everything is marketing. Everything is content. The fucking Oscars are on the 12th, right? So a very smart man for him to release not only a Netflix special March 4th, but to address the Oscar slap. Because what's going to happen? Everybody and their mama is going to talk about that Oscar slap from fucking last year. And everyone's going to monetize the bloggers, the vloggers, YouTube, Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood. Everyone is going to be talking about the infamous slap that was heard around the world. Why the fuck wouldn't the person that got slapped monetize as well? So I see nothing wrong with it. People are like, why are we still talking about this? I don't know. Why are there 255 John Benet Ramsey documentaries? Why are there 1,000 documentaries of Gabby Petito? So if we can see, right, if we can see that, then let Chris Rock have his day, have his time. I know he's going to make it funny. I may be a little biased because Chris Rock is my favorite comedian. Chappelle is my second favorite just because I think him and I think the same. But I've always loved Chris Rock. He's always been my number one. So I'm supporting 110%. Okay, I will be there, my popcorn. And I'm happy that he's doing this. Also, the other reason I'm happy is because this slap became about the person who committed the assault. Like everybody went running to see if Will Smith was okay. And I don't care what anybody says. Okay, I Karened out after that situation. I was like, he should have pressed charges. He should have let him get arrested. Okay, I went full Karen on him because I thought it was really, really messed up. And I do believe he wouldn't have done that to Ricky Gervais or to Jim Carrey. I really, truly, wholeheartedly believe that Will Smith would have minded his manners in the audience had that been a white comedian. I don't care anybody's gonna say, well, what about the whataboutism? I have to say it because I don't think Will Smith would have crossed that line had that comedian been whacked. Right? But I just hate how they made it about him. You disagree, George? What you got?
I mean, I've been wanting to talk about this. It's funny that you got talked about that. I'm probably one of the few people who, though I don't condone Will Smith going up on stage and slapping him in his face, I do think Will Smith should have decked his ass, whether on stage or not. Okay.
Really?
Because I mean, to me, it's like where I come from, man, you don't let some dude call your lady out like that. I know you just don't. You don't let yourself get disrespected like that. And I'm going to tell you, had he not done it, what if the Jen Garcias and the Lilies and maybe Huron and No Saint would be out there talking about what a cuck he was for allowing that Chris Rock to embarrass his wife in front of him and around the world, and nobody'd say a damn thing about it.
Okay, well, you're super wrong about the Jen Garcias. I got shit to say, but Lily, you take it.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say because first of all,
the hornet's nest tonight.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you came and you chose violence today, George. We love you. Yeah, but the thing is this. I feel like there's a time and place for everything, but that punishment didn't fit the crime, and I don't even feel like there was a crime. I feel like there was a comedian on stage telling a joke, and the joke, although people might have said it was distasteful, or some people said it wasn't funny, or whatever, their opinion was it was still a joke, and it was right on brand for Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. Because he's made fun of other people. He made fun of Jennifer Lopez one time. The joke was she has to come to the awards show in 2 limousines, one for her ass.
Yeah, so, but that's on brand. That's typical Chris Rock, especially when he's hosting. So I don't understand what the difference was that particular night. I mean, we kind of do. We could speculate what the difference was. At the same time, it still didn't justify that in that way. Now, if he felt the need to check him because of a personal thing, like, hey, I'm offended, then take his ass backstage, snatch him up, maybe, say da-da-da-da-da, do the Haran, don't, do one of those. But I just don't think
grab him around the
yeah, just a little, and make sure, but the way it was done so brazen that it took me a minute to accept that it was real.
It shocked me too when I saw it. I was like, did this just happen? And then I thought from the angle, not trying to rehash this, but I thought it was planned.
Let's rehash, baby. That's why.
And I thought that it was all set up.
Me too.
I was wondering if he really did hit him. And then you could tell afterward, Chris Rock's reaction, it was for real. And I was like, holy shit. I understand him getting mad. I understand him maybe taking a swing, but I was like, dude, not right here in front of God and everybody. This is not in the end going to be good for you. And
then I'm thinking about it on a whole nother level, in the eyes of the public, the general public or the non-blacks, he's one of the good ones.
I was kind of trying to. I was wondering.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like, it was cringy.
You're saying he's got his honorary white boy card in his wallet somewhere?
Yeah, and
crossover.
It wasn't
crossover. Okay.
his crossover call has been suspended.
He can come to the Lane barbecue.
Yeah,
While
Yes.
mine always gets lost in the mail for some strange reason.
Right.
That's the difference between Will Smith and I.
Well, Haran, no Saint, what y'all got? Because George called us all out. I'll wait till the end.
I told y'all know my stance. Me and Jenny went back and forth on this a couple of times. I said, yeah, should have popped him. You know what I mean? And I was fully against that night when the first thing that a lot of black people kept saying, well, you can't do that in front of white people. You got to understand. I'm like, man, y'all just sound like, well, that's the thing that we can't be out here doing all that, trying to honk and talk in front of them. And, we can't be acting like, look, you can have your issue about him doing what he did. You can have your point of view. But don't sit here and worry about, behaving a certain way in front of white people. Okay? That's how all this shit starts. You know what I mean?
I never even thought of it like that, Haran, but
Yeah, like me personally, if I got mad and white people were in the room one time, a lot of times that happened, and motherfuckers came to me and I said, so? You know what I mean? Susan will be all right. I'm pretty sure she's seen enough. She's seen enough angry white and black men in her life. Probably called the cops on a few. She'll be okay.
Yeah, that's right. Shannon Sharp basically said that on his show with Skip Bayless. He said something like, we've got a certain perception in the world out there that we can't conduct ourselves right. And he said this fed, in a way, he was right. This fed right into that narrative, but then again, sometimes you got to say, to hell with that and stand up for what you believe is right, regardless of the optics or the dynamic to it. So
it never pays. It never works out for you if you try to sit there and constantly live up to white expectations. You're going to eventually shoot yourself in the foot as a person of color, as a black man or whatever. I've never been in
but Will made a career out of catering and being the unassuming, the nonviolent, the happy-go-lucky black man. He made a career of it.
Even when he did Ali,
What did he say? What did he say though? He said the pressures of that, got to him, and it was like, well, you created that for yourself, brother. And
that's fine, and that's great. But he projected on another black person. Like I said before, usually when you're at your wit's end, right? All of us, people of color, we move like crabs. We attack sideways the weaker person. He could have easily slapped a white man that he felt put him in that position because he's tired of being happy-go-lucky Will Smith, right? No Saint, what say you? Because George called us all out. He ready to fight.
Well, when I first saw it, I didn't know the background as far as like Jada Pinkett's condition. So when I heard that, I could kind of understand it. But then at the same time, I was like, wait up, it comes with this new generation of people where you're going to start cramping comic styles, because that's like, listen, there's roasts where people get a lot worse than that. They'll bring somebody up and just roast people. I understand she wasn't in a roast, but it wasn't like, just imagine if she was just in the audience, if he did that to a regular person just sitting there,
No Saint, yeah. I have to push back on that, because if you're a celebrity at an award show, technically you are at a roast.
Well, there you go. What I'm just saying is, like, if she were just a regular person sitting out in the audience, and he may, there's sometimes comics start picking people out in the audience and making jokes, and people laugh, and I'm sure people get their feelings hurt, and not every comedian knows what that person's going through, but you're in that's what you expect. So I'm interested. It's brilliant for Netflix. They're doing a live stream for this. Yep. They're going to get a lot of subscribers just for this.
I'll be watching.
And Netflix is already, I think, that's one of the ones that I definitely don't cancel. I cancel a lot of the other ones I get, but I always keep Netflix. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But, yeah, I was on the fence, but I kind of came back to Chris Rock's defense, because, he's up there on a performance, and you
But
can't do that.
he didn't have to go there, but he
Go
did.
where? Go where?
Go where?
Go after Jada Pinkett. He could have picked anybody else.
Okay,
Am
so
I in the
let
Twilight
me.
Zone? Like,
Yeah, you're in the.
He knew,
So
he
let
knew that
me.
she had that condition.
So
He did it anyway.
no. Wait, let me jump in. No one knew she had that condition.
I don't even think she knew.
Okay,
Next door.
she had mentioned it one time on her Instagram or her Red Table Talk. Unless you are a fan of Jada Pinkett Smith, you did not know.
Nope.
Okay. Not only the alopecia, I wish the alopecia people would come after me for this. I don't give a fuck. Okay. I can have a condition. It's not your responsibility to walk on eggshells around me because I have that condition. You don't owe me shit. You don't owe me shit. Right. But everyone feels entitled to have their condition respected and upheld and pray. And that's the issue I had with Jada Pinkett. Now, I had to research. Where did this woman say she had alopecia? I had to research. I had to do a Google search. Jada Pinkett, alopecia. It brought me to a video that she did where she was talking about, look, I have alopecia. See this line right here where I'm missing hair? That's alopecia. I got alopecia. It's literally, the line was so thin, and maybe it's a big deal to her. I don't know. I can't gauge what's a big deal to her or not. But it was such a thin line that if she grew her hair out, she can cover it. She also wears turbans. She wears wigs and what have you. It's not like the alopecia of like when someone has cancer and they lose all their hair. It's a thin line, right? Whatever. Maybe it's a big deal to her. Maybe a little spot would drive a woman crazy. I don't know. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be upset. Yeah. But here's the thing. Jada's always been shaving her head for many years. For many years, she's done that hairstyle, right? So that's what I don't like, that this was made a big deal because people don't know the entire history. Mm-hmm. And that's what really bothered me. The second thing is, I also Googled comedians, and you can find this on your own. I also Googled the comedian's job at the Oscars. Do you know that the literal job of a comedian at the Oscars is to make all the bigwig celebrities bring them down notches? Mm-hmm. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I did not know that till I researched it. The literal job of any comedian that is hosting the Oscars is to purposely roast the quote unquote elite.
Yep.
I didn't even know that was in the description, but I know that's what I've always seen my entire life.
Thank you. We've seen every single comedian knock those big wigs, the frou-frou, right, down a notch. Ricky Gervais, okay? When I tell you he dragged, I was cheering on my couch. Ricky Gervais dragged all those elite quote unquote actors and actresses and directors won Oscar. Did you guys see the way he dragged them? He made fun of, the pedophilia, the sexual assault, the sexual harassment. I mean, he dragged them bad. He was naming names. Yes. Okay, he was naming. It was bad.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett and Will Smith were they're in the front row because Will was getting an Oscar that night. So Chris Rock was doing his job. So I don't see like how he targeted her and pinpointed her. They're the elite. The Smiths are the elite of Hollywood. They are Black excellence. They're the elite. So of course, whoever's at the front row, you getting it. Whoever's here, you getting it. Another thing is, if we didn't know, and I'm in tune with celebrity gossip, if I didn't and I've watched Red Table Talk. If I didn't know, which is Jada Pinkett's show, if I didn't know about her fucking alopecia, what makes anybody think that Chris Rock knew? And even if he knew, all he did was compare her damn haircut to G.I. Jane,
which is a compliment.
Who has the same haircut. G.I. Jane, the Demi Moore, has the same haircut. It is not like he compared her, hey, you and them crackheads got bald heads.
Right. Like G.I. Jane's a hero.
Right. So I didn't get that. And I'll pass the mic after this. For people that are saying in the chat and on the panel, well, it's good that he hit him because, all right, so then here's the thing. Will Smith hit him because he disagreed with something he said. That means that you can get hit, Haran. That means that, George, you can get hit. You can't gauge whether or not it's okay for me to hit you, right? Because all I have to do is take offense to what you said. But basically what you're saying is if someone takes offense to what you say, then violence is okay. That's basically what you're saying, because there was no violence towards Jada. It was a joke. So what you're basically saying is, if you say a joke about me, I can slap you in the mouth. George, if you say a joke about me I don't like, I can slap you in the mouth. Maybe I get offended. Lily said this reminded her of Cardi B. Maybe I don't like Cardi B to the point where it offends me. So George, let's say you're like, you remind me of Cardi B, and I'm like, I get so insulted, I slap you in the mouth. Are you gonna say it's warranted, it merited a slap? All I have to do is say, hey, you shouldn't have came after me. That is what you're essentially saying.
And throw you in the pool. That's what I'm going to do.
I would say this.
You've got a point, Jim.
Hit that like and subscribe for me, please. And don't forget to super chat or cash app on the block with Jim.
I mean, Jen, I will say this. I mean, come on, we come from New York. I've been in some roasting sessions, and dudes are swung on me. Because I just said some shit. I done made a joke that was extremely funny, but it didn't sit well with dude, and he got a little, and it turned into a situation.
But was it okay? So, I'm not saying that people shouldn't react. React however you want. They got jail cells, handcuffs, and charges for every reaction you could think of.
Right.
Okay. I've reacted to shit in a classroom. Like, bitch, you said what?
Right.
But I got suspended. I got charged.
Right.
And
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I've done it, you know what I mean? And I've gotten caught up with shit. Like I said, you know what I mean? Shit happens. It happens so fast. We've all been there, you know what I mean? Especially coming from where we are. You know what I mean? We've all been there. We've seen this shit. We've seen this shit turn into gunplay. We've seen this shit turn into gunplay. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? I get it. But, you know what? Here's the thing with Will. I think this is why I blame him. Again, he spent too much time in his life, in his career, trying to please everybody. Just trying to please people, trying to be that perfect guy. And that never turns out great. Because you can't be that guy and think that you can always be that guy. You're going to be human at one point in time, because that person is going to come out. It's going to come out, and it often comes out at the most inopportune time. He just happens to be a celebrity. Now, there's been times in regular. Wait 1 second. There's been times in regular people's lives when that turns into a fucking man killing a woman, or a woman killing a man. You know what I mean, and so on and so forth. But I'm done right now.
Okay, so see, because of everything that you just said about Will, that's what pissed me off even more. That I felt like, and we've all done it or been on the receiving end. You got hell going on in your life, and you want to take it out on me, right? And we've been on both sides. I've projected my anger on someone that didn't deserve it. People have projected their anger on me, and I didn't deserve it. And that's what happened that night, right? He made a joke, and Chris Rock made a joke, and Will decided that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Though he laughed, we all saw him laugh at the joke until he looked at Jada. He laughed. And then after Will slapped Chris Rock, then Jada laughed. She thought that was funny. So I don't know about you. How insulted or hurt are you if you laugh after you watch your husband on the biggest night of his life assault another man? So are you upset or not, Jada?
Damn near.
Do you think that Jada has like no respect for him at all?
Oh, that's clear.
Absolutely not.
One thing, I saw a video of her. They're talking about their relationship, and you could see him. He's like, "Why are you pointing the camera at me? Y'all probably."
I saw that.
And I'm like, dude, you need to divorce her. This woman is like, let her go. It may cost you half $500 million or whatever, but.
Well, you know, I've already told you my theory on them. They have been divorced without the papers for years, and not just in my head. You know, we've all know this. We all know they're a brand, right? They're a brand, and they make more money staying together. Kind of like a whole Who Wants to See Ashford without Simpson? You know, like it's like, I mean, you know, rest in peace. But you get what I'm saying. It's just like.
Thank you for the super chat, the dating doc. Thank you so much. Thank you for pulling up. I disagree, Lily.
Okay.
On the latter end, I do agree with you. They're not together. They've even said things like, we're life partners now.
Yeah.
We're doing this life thing together. But I don't see them as a couple who needs each other to make money. I think Jada needs Will, but Will doesn't need Jada for anything.
That's very true. Yeah.
That's the only
Is it
thing.
the same
Like,
face? Is it the same? Like what?
I think he needs her to not take his money. I don't think he.
he has money over money over money. It's not like he has 5 million and she's going to take 2.5.
No,
right. Yeah,
and his earning potential. What do you think, Lily?
I think
that goes back to what I say, what I always say, and people look at me crazy when I say this about, when I always say that I don't know why billionaires exist, because it's like, how much do you need? Right. But clearly, these people, whoever they are, feel like they just need it all. They need it all. I need it all. All of it. I don't care if I think it for 5 lifetimes. I need it all.
Honestly, I think that it's more Will's obsession, because he has shit that he obviously, even at this age and these riches, he still hasn't healed from. He's still blaming, you know what I mean? And I made a joke about it the other day. He's still blaming watching his dad pound his mother out for why he is the way he is and what he does. Right? He reminds me of them people that commit a crime and then they go before the judge. But I was abused. I saw someone get abused, right? I said before on this show, your trauma is your responsibility, not mine, not theirs, not the laws. Your trauma is your responsibility. And you are in a position that you can afford the creme de la creme, the dream team of therapists, motherfucker. Okay? You're not someone running around with PTSD that can't. You can afford the best of therapists. So I'm not hearing you when you say, well, I went up there when he said that joke. I pictured a time when I was helpless and couldn't help my mother. And that's why no, sir.
No, Will has enough money to literally buy a therapist, not afford a therapist, sir. There's a difference.
He can move one in.
Exactly. He can buy one. Okay.
I like this comment here. I agree with this. He's just been super beta and been a target of jokes and overcorrected. The sad part is Chris Rock's history of being bullied as a kid. So they both have a history. I just thought that Will that night was on some bullying shit. Like, I'm gonna go up there and slap this dude. He should know better. I still say I don't think he would have did it to Ricky Gervais. I agree with Jim Carrey. He should have pressed charges. He should have sued him. I would have done it because it's forever. Like, this is gonna go down in Oscar history. That slap is going nowhere. It is forever. Now it's forever part of both their legacies, right? Whether we like it or not, whether they like it or not. And I think that it's good that Chris Rock is going to address it in this Netflix film. And I don't like how Will Smith became the victim after he's the one that committed the assault. I'm like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, it's like he committed the assault. And people are running to his aid. Like, are you okay? Will, are you okay? And then he's partying. He's partying at the after party at the Oscar party. He didn't look like a man that, if I had just assaulted someone on an Oscar stage, and I'm not beyond that, by the way, but had I done that, I would have been like, oh my God, I fucked up. I would have been calling Lily, like, Lily, I fucked up.
Right.
I fucked up. This dude was at the after party with the Oscar dancing. He was dancing at the Oscar after party. Okay. And then he brought up Serena and Venus's dad. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. Richard. Okay. Will Smith brought up the dad. And do you know that the dad, he detached himself from that? Like, he was like, we don't support what Will Smith did, because Will Smith even tried to pull him into it. Like, well, I just felt like I just finished doing this movie, King Richard. And Richard was very protective over the women in his family. And I can relate because that dude, Richard, okay, Richard Williams was like, listen, we don't condone what happened. In other words, don't pull me into that shit.
Right.
So Will tried it.
I didn't agree to that. He came on there and started crying, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. He just went from Nino Brown to Brown Sugar. real fucking fast, man. And I was like, this motherfucker crying. And I'm just like, oh shit.
Well,
You know what
he
I
pull
mean?
out his
And I'm just
acting chops to save his
conflicted.
career.
I will say this though. I will say this. I think that there's a part of him. The reason why he won't leave Jada, I think there's a part of him that can't deal with the idea of failure in marriage again.
Well, he said that. He said it.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. He'll hold on. He'll hold down to that broken valise to however long he can, as long as he actually can, man. And it is what it is.
This comment though. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat, Don Levon. Don't forget you can super chat me or Cash App on the block with Jen. And if you can't do that, hit that like and subscribe for mama. I do like this comment. Will should have slapped his son's friend who was long stroking Jada in the mouth. That's what he was mad at. Also, I think Will, I do believe this is what I'll give Will Smith. I do believe that he got tired of being the butt of the joke, but that was his fault. He's the one that went on national television more than once, went on radio more than once, and spoke about he felt he was living in Tupac Shakur's shadow. Okay. He said that. Nobody said that. No one made that up. Will Smith, out of his own mouth, said he felt like he was the good guy, and how could he live up to Tupac? And Tupac was, and I'm like, Tupac was a fucking ballet dancer. Tupac wasn't even Tupac.
Right.
Tupac wasn't even Tupac. But out of his own mouth, he said he felt like he was living in his shadow because that was Jada's type. And here he is, you know what I mean, the unassuming, innocent, fresh prince. So take that up with your wife.
And another thing, I think somebody else mentioned this a few minutes ago or hinted at what I'm about to talk about. But I believe that every celebrity, like once you get to a certain place, a certain threshold of fame and income bracket, that it should be normalized that we do therapy. Because that change it's life changing. It's a lot, you know. And we've all sat down with famous people to tell us like how it messes you up in the head. So you're dealing with your past traumas, but now you have this whole new insecurity because there's an insecurity that comes with fame, especially when you come from nothing, right? So, but at the same time, because I say this about every person, at a certain age, right? Those mommy and daddy issues and the bully from high school issues, we don't want to hear it. Okay, in your 20s, I'm going to hear it all day and I'm going to start direct you towards a therapist. But after like a certain age, I'm just like, okay, this you. Like you're a participant. Like you're willingly staying in this situation at this point.
I think he's my age. I mean, he's in his 50s, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I tried therapy twice.
Don't give up.
Okay, I'm like
after the well, no, that was it. I mean, after the second time, I was like, this is it. He was like, yeah. I was like, then I saw my bill. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You know, I left, and I really didn't go back because I mean, after a while, I mean, I'm the kind of guy where it's just like, look, it happened. It is what it is. I'm not one of those dudes that's gonna harp on it and be like, oh, my dad and my mom. And like, nah, it's just. It happened. It is what it is. You move forward, and you can't change the past or whatever it is.
Yeah, and also, and we're gonna get into our topic tonight, but I definitely wanted to address this, and I know we'll revisit the whole Chris Rock thing after the show. I'm excited for it again. I'm supporting him 100%. I feel terrible that happened to him. He was not only assaulted but humiliated. He was shocked, and to have to continue telling jokes.
I don't know how he did that.
Have to continue telling jokes after being assaulted, and not only after being assaulted, but seeing the person that assaulted you, people running up to him, and Denzel Washington, one of the best actors on the planet, defend him and say it was the devil that was going. It was because of the devil. Will did that. New levels, new devils. No, he did that. He did that. Why does the devil always get blamed? I know the devil be sitting somewhere like, what the fuck? I wasn't even there.
No, y'all some lying motherfuckers.
The devil be sitting somewhere like, what the fuck did I do? I was
Look,
over here trying to make these
Well, the quote I
95%
heard
of the Bible, the devil was like that because I was the devil like,
Wait a minute. I'm like, the God's doing all this mass killing and I'm fucking tempting you to cheat on your wife?
Like this.
This motherfucker that evicted me through 20,000 years ago out of there, man. I ain't
He's like, what did I do?
got nothing to do with me, man.
I just asked them one question and got kicked out, and I get blamed for everything.
Well, Denzel did tell him, the quote I saw from him, he said he told Will about the devil, but he said the closer you get to a really big accomplishment, things will start happening to you to try to basically rain on your parade, try to tarnish you and stuff like that. And so he was telling him kind of like, hey, in the future, man, you need to be thinking. That's the way I took it. And,
that's the way you took it?
Yep. He was basically telling him, hey, look, man, you know, the closer you get to the goal that you're looking for, a really big achievement, you know, things will come into your life, will happen to you, and that will basically test you. And so I guess in that case, he failed the test that night. But
yeah, but I would say that'd be cool. But go to the victim first, and then go to him.
Okay, so let me read the exact quote.
all right.
Okay, this is the exact quote. What I loved was Denzel Washington said to me a few moments ago. He said, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you."
Yeah, that's right. He did say that.
That's the exact quote. At your highest moment, at your highest moment. And I think I would have said at your highest moment, be careful to check your fucking ego because you're not untouchable. That's what I would have said, not the devil, because when you blame the devil, then you take the accountability from the person. Then the person is like, oh, it wasn't even me. It was the devil. Fuck. Yeah. No, at your highest level, check your fucking ego. Okay. And the problem, wait, really quickly, and I'll pass the mic back to you, George. And you see these people on the top row? I love these people because these people will check my fucking ego. Okay. And Will Smith, when you get to a certain level, right? And I can always tell when people that are climbing up get to the level where no one's telling them shit anymore because they start putting out garbage.
Yes.
And you're like, no one's telling you that wasn't going to work.
Because trust me, let me tell you, if I ever caught Jen actually climbing on stage and ready to rip somebody's head off, I will grab her, tackle her right in the middle of that, be like, we got money to make, baby. We ain't got time for all that shit. You're going to have to eat that.
Exactly. Where Will did what he did and he's getting coddled. People literally ran to him to comfort him. Denzel should have been like, you fucked up and this is how you fix it. What you pulling the devil into? What?
Yep, strap on your seatbelt.
But George, what were you gonna say?
Well, if you remember that movie Legend, right? And darkness tells them at the end that I am a part of you. Everybody's a part, darkness is in everybody. So you could look at, in this case, devil as like a metaphor for that darkness or that's in everybody, that side of that. That's the way I kind of take that.
I can understand that, George. Only reason why I have a problem with it is because I come from that. No, saying you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of and I've talked about it before on here. There's a lot of in the religious stuff because there was a religious undertone to it. And it's a lot of like, not you only take credit for the good stuff. And then we're gonna give the rest to, or God did it, or the devil did it. It's like, nah, bitch, you just made a good decision today, okay?
Yeah,
or you made a bad decision.
I give you that you're right. Because I've come from a similar background as you, Lily.
And they use that language. I had to get away from that because that's why I wasn't learning how to take personal responsibility. right? So I had to learn how to get that out of my system as well and take full responsibility for my own actions. So that's why those type of comments rub me the wrong way as well. I know the metaphor, but
Yeah, and also Denzel is I don't want to say he's a person of faith, but I think he does go to church.
He's very much a person of faith, and the older he gets, the more religious he gets. I just thought that that statement, even for a religious person, was irresponsible. Because even religious people should, you know what I mean, adhere to fucking accountability, right? You can be. I've been prayed up before. I've only been an atheist for like maybe, I don't know, 12, 13 years.
you didn't pray long enough, Jen, because you would have lost all your accountability.
Right? Listen, you know, so I know both sides. I know both sides to it. I know the line you're talking about, George, in Legend. He says there is no light without dark. There is no. I know the monologue. I love that man, that devil guy. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But it is a metaphor, right? You can call it whatever you want, but it's something that we choose. In my opinion, it's something that we choose. We make those decisions to do good or evil. We make those decisions. I don't believe that there's something outside of us pushing us. I don't believe that. I think when you instill that in someone's mind, it's a dangerous thing because they feel like they can do something that's quote unquote evil or bad or not good and always blame something else. Right? Always, it wasn't me. The devil was working on it. New levels, new devils. No, your personality changes the bigger you get, the more money you get. I think with Will, that shit was all ego. That shit was all bravado. That shit was all ego. I'm Will Smith. Watch me walk up here and not let this Negro talk about my wife. That's what I saw. I saw no devils. I saw Will Smith. You know what I mean? The deity. Right?
He's a deity.
And it's a comedian. It's a comedian who said a joke that he laughed at.
And it wasn't a distasteful joke. That's the craziest part. It wasn't even a distasteful joke. If we go to, and even like, we don't even have to compare it to any other joke ever told in the Oscars. But if we did, it would be down probably towards the bottom of the bottom.
Listen, nobody did it like Ricky Gervais. Y'all think I'm kidding? You're watching, pull up Ricky Gervais talk about Hollywood and sexual assault. He roasted. I mean, it looked like an attack on Hollywood. I was like, is he joking? Or he's like telling on everybody. It was raw. Yeah. That was raw, right? Yeah. Thank you, the Radical Latino, for the stupid chat. Como está, hermano? He says, showing some love to my Latin sister. Sup to the panel. Thank you so much for that. Don Levon says, Will has been nominated for an Oscar before. This isn't new to him. Don Levon, thank you for the super chat again. Says Jada, his wife, should have stopped him from going up there to make a fool out of himself. So does that make her the devil? Let me tell you something. I will echo what Haran said. If that was my man, I would have tackled his ass like, you are not about to embarrass us. Right? But I think that because Jada resents Will, and I think we can all agree that she resents Will to the freaking bone, that she was like, good, go up there and do something that's going to make me feel good. Go up there. Because she said, say again?
Why would she resent him?
Lily, Haran?
There's a lot of reasons. I mean, I can go with one.
I mean, she's had success in her career too.
Yes. Okay. So let me tell you a little quick story. Back when I was still managing, and I was managing a model, she was loving what I was doing for her career, and her husband, who is also in entertainment, was loving what I was doing for his wife's career. So he approached me and was like, hey, you want to manage me too? No, I won't. Number one, that's a conflict of interest. Mm-hmm. But even before number one, I know how this story is going to go, because in this industry, it's ebbs and flows, it's ups and downs. And when you have two entertainers and like two artists that are a couple and one career is up and one's down, there's something there. Whether it's spoken or not, it's there. And so I knew I would be the, I will be the loser at all times. If he's up, then she'd be mad. If she's up, he'll, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that. And, one of the reasons why I don't want to date anyone in the industry, that's one reason. There's a lot of other reasons why she resents him. We can do the whole, I don't feel like she thinks that he is, I will go ahead and say, toxic masculine enough, right? The image that Tupac put out, right? I feel like she would like him to have more of a tough image, right? And so she was like, this is your moment. Go ahead, make me proud. That's what I was getting from
You
him.
think she's got?
You think
she's a bit of a narcissist?
There was one time when she did mention, I'm just paraphrasing, she was basically saying that he makes love like a woman.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, at her red.
Cut his nuts off.
Okay, so at her Red Table Talk, I've seen her use that platform to basically diminish Will, and I feel like her Red Table Talk is like, good, now I have a platform where people could listen to me about this marriage that I'm in, because she belittles him. She doesn't big him up, right? She talked about a lot of what she felt were his flaws. Jada Pinkett also on several, and again, this isn't made up, folks. Jada Pinkett, even after marrying Will Smith, has gone on several talk shows, Google it, to praise Tupac. I have not heard Jada Pinkett Smith talk about Will Smith the way she talks about Tupac. And it seems like it's the knife in his back that she just keeps spinning, right? Like Tupac was the epitome of the man I like. It's Tupac and it's Tupac. She's crying tears. Her daughter wrote a letter to dead Tupac. That was promoted. Look at even the daughter knows about her adoration for Tupac. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. So, not only that, but real quickly, the history on them was Will Smith was supposed to go on a date with Jada Pinkett. He got to the studio. He saw his other wife. What's her name? Sherry. He saw her. Picture this on a way. And this is from their mouth. These aren't rumors. These people have been vomiting their life via media for the longest. The Smiths have told us their entire life, right? Will said, I was going to go on a date with Jada. I saw Sherry. That's her name?
I call her Sherry and Cherie, depending on
Okay, Sherry. He saw her and said, fuck a Jada. Who is that? He got with that, married that, had a child with that. That wanted a divorce from him. Okay? Will did not want to divorce that woman. She said to him, this is all on Red Table Talk. You can see it. She said it herself. She had to shake Will up one day and say, why would you want to stay in a marriage with a woman that does not love you anymore? This is what his ex-wife said, that she told him. Why would you want to hold on to a marriage with a woman that just doesn't love you anymore? It snapped in Will's head. Damn, that's deep. Let me give you this divorce. What did he do? He spun the block back to Jada. Now he's saying this story in public. So now you're the wife of this man who's plan B and everybody knows it. So imagine living with that. Now everybody knows that you're some duck that he spun the block for because plan A didn't want him anymore. That's horrible. That creates resentment. That creates resentment. That creates resentment. But now you're 2 kids deep. You're the wife of Will Smith. And honestly, being the wife of Will Smith is better than being the ex-wife of Will Smith. You're already 2 kids deep.
You barely know Cherie's name. We don't know if she's Cherie or Sherry.
Exactly. So, you're living under that. And also, and let me just really quickly, also the way they met was, this is how romantic it was. Jada said she was taking a break from acting. She bought a farm. And then Will calls her on the phone. This is, again, verbatim what she said. We're not making this up. Will called her on the phone. How romantic is this? Hi, what's up? What's up? This is Will Smith. Oh, shit, what's up? How you doing, Will? Will says, who you dating? Who you seeing right now? She's like, nobody. I just bought a farm. I'm chilling. He was like, you dating me. Pack your shit and come out here. She packed her shit Even after buying a farm and everything, how she wanted to live, she packed her shit. Her words, not mine. Packed her shit. All of this is available. The videos are available. She packed her shit and went to him after he divorced the one that he wanted to be with. She packed her shit and went to Will. How romantic is that? You seeing me now, pack your shit and come on.
That was very ego driven as well.
Sounds real alpha.
I know, it's kind of
right?
hot, though.
Quick question.
I mean, it's sexy as fuck, but when you add the your plan B, that takes the sexy out of it.
Right.
Oh, let me ask a question though. Now
Hit that like for me.
Here's where the rubber meets the road, and we expose the huge fucking double standard. Now, here we go. It's a huge double standard. Now, in that context that you just explained it, Jen, you know what I mean? She basically wasn't the first choice, correct?
Correct.
She wasn't the first choice. She was plan B.
Per their reports, yes.
Right. So now, in the context of, I think subconsciously, her way of fighting back with that was like, well, you weren't my first choice either, motherfucker. I wanted to. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. Now, he's a simp because he decided to stay, but he did the same shit to her, and he would be considered alpha. So, is this a moment where we're cool with the double standard? Because we need to really see. This is where we need to really, really look at relationship dynamics, and we'll cut a lot of bullshit out if we'll just admit we are very fine with double standards as long as we get the benefit from it.
Yeah, as long as I'm getting what I want.
Just say that. Like, right. I'm cool with a lot of double standards if I win. See, a lot of motherfuckers won't say that though. You rather sit on your high horse. You'd rather do shit like that. Blah blah blah. I did a lot of fucked up shit in my life to women, and I did it because hey, it was free,
right? And
I could get away with it. And I'm a human being. You know what I mean? I did a bunch of fuck shit. Yep, I probably would do it again if I could get away with it. Now, most
you call
dudes,
yourself a human being?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, now most dudes won't do that. They won't admit that because every man never did nothing bad to nobody. Every woman never did nothing bad to nobody.
But
you know what I mean? And
where I come from,
that's
like
the issue that I have with all this shit that's going on right now.
Hey, Ron, where I come from, we would say, like you and I were talking, I'd say to you, man, why would you buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free?
And there you go.
Yeah. So
and there you go. And women get in their little huddles too.
I'm
Dwayne Rhodes
about my being a fucking hypocrite.
Dwayne Rhodes said Jada.
All hypocrites in one thing or another.
Of course. Dwayne Rhodes said Jada could have respectfully declined. Two Plan Bs got together. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. So I really do think that Jada continuously, I mean, for them to be married as long as they have been, and for her to be, and then crying tears on talk shows talking about Tupac, and Tupac was the epitome of manhood, and Tupac. I'm sorry, but if I was a husband, I would have been like, why everywhere you go, you still fucking talking about Tupac? What is it with you? And this is just the stuff that they have revealed. Can you imagine what's really going on in their marriage?
Hello?
If that's what they've revealed about the privacy of their marriage, can you imagine what goes on in between? And then her sexing that child, August Alsina, that's a child. Okay.
Like 18, 19, something like that.
He was in his
like
early 20s. Yeah, he was in his early 20s. Which is,
Jen, I got
he's a child.
Yeah, she's old enough to be his mom.
He's a child.
Yeah.
She's old. If she's old enough to be his mama, that's a child.
Hey, Jen, I want to ask you something.
She was fucking that boy on her husband's dime. All right.
He was almost in his mid fucking 20s. He was close to 30. He was closer to 30 than he was to 20. That was a man.
But a child, it could be a child to her though. And he was a child with freaking mental issues that they took in to help. Remember that too. They took in to help him.
August ain't no cop. Don't be coddling August. August knew damn well what he was doing, man. You know
of course, any young guy who gets come on to by a fucking adult woman who's a celebrity is not going to say no. Of course, but there's a power dynamic.
Jada looked like a whole freak.
Okay, there is a power dynamic, and the one in power was her, not him. Okay, there's a power dynamic, and she had the power, not him.
Okay, we can agree to that.
I've
And if
always
we-
said Jada's the top and Will's the bottom.
Hey, Jen, I got a question for you.
I heard some things like literally, but
Go ahead, Reese. I mean, they're all freaks at that level. We're freaks too.
Yeah.
Listen, I was a big fan
Watch
of
us on
Tupac.
Freaky Friday. Watch us on Freaky Fridays.
I will not be here. No, man.
Go ahead, Reese. What you got to say? Welcome, Reese from Philly, to the panel.
So I was a big fan of Tupac, right? And he was the craze, but is Tupac the most feminine rapper that's ever walked the earth, or am I a hater?
I thought Eazy-E was no, not him.
Every move Tupac made, his neck and with his hands and the way he talked, it all came off as feminine to me, man. You can look at any interview.
Fuck are you Reese? What the fuck?
Yo.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like,
I was watching
I don't even know
Tupac footage.
what?
There was a craze for Tupac. All the chicks went crazy for him. And I couldn't understand it. He was so feminine.
Oh my goodness.
Look, listen. Now, Reese right here. Now, listen to what he just said right there, Jen. Now, Jen, remember when I told you in the DMs a while ago that Pac was out years prior to that. You know, he was running around with Digital Underground, blah blah blah. And I was a Tupac fan when he came out with me. When he came out with Me Against the World and shit like that, I was like, yo, I used to tell people, hey, yo, Pac is dope, blah, blah, blah. Motherfuckers used to clown him. Nobody really talked about him. When that motherfucker went to jail, and when he came out, he started talking that crazy shit. And when chicks started fucking with Pac, all of a sudden, dudes started talking about Tupac.
Very
all of a
true.
Sudden, men had an opinion about Tupac. And I told you, Jen, as a man, you know what I mean? Men don't give a fuck about you until chicks start talking about you. That's how it works.
Then you're gay and you're feminine. And they start picking you apart. They start picking you apart.
There you go. There you go.
And you're
there you go. There you go. When the chicks start saying like, "Hey, he looks great, man. Fuck that, you remember? Fuck that."
Hey, listen, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this, right? I'm not one of these conspiracy heads. I took the red pill, but I didn't get too caught up in it, right? But all my homies is conspiracy heads. So the day that Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, right? Two strange things happened the next day. And they pointed this out to me, right? So the next day on the Philly news, Will Smith is demonstrating in front of a classroom full of children how to do a fake Hollywood slap. And he did it exactly the same way.
Okay. All right.
Hey, listen.
All right.
And the next day, Chris
No,
Rock's
I'm not
tickets were
going to
$200.
listen. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to listen.
That was weird.
I'm not going to listen. That never happened. Feel free to throw the link in the chat where Will Smith, the day after the Oscar slap, is in a classroom teaching kids how to do a fake slap. For Pete's sake, people, we have to be. We have. Come on. I pride myself. I pride myself in being an intellectual, very wise panel. Let's not do this tonight. What's up, Creating Anarchy, Mama? How are you? What's up, eBlack TV in the building? Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support the show, Cash App on the Block with Jen, or super chat me if you like what you see and what you hear. What we not going to do is tear apart Tupac on this day or night.
Did we get proof that the moon landing was a hoax too that day? That Will Smith was. Did we get proof of that?
Yeah. What I was gonna say. Anyway, so yeah, to wrap on that whole, you know what I mean, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, I just think it was, a bad marriage. And again, they said after, when they were on the Red Table Talk talking about Jada Pinkett's affair, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett ended that interview, okay, talking about that affair with a little fist bump. And they said, bad marriage for life. And they both giggled. So they are both aware that they have a bad marriage, but it works for them. Right? They fist bumped at the end of that interview and they said bad marriage for life. They said that. Okay. So I think it's just a thing of they've overexposed themselves. They divulged a lot about their marriage that they shouldn't have, and they became targets. And it's ironic that Will Smith yelled, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, because after he said that, every comedian from here to Cancun dragged his wife very badly. Bald-headed scallywag, that skinny bitch, that she looked like they said the worst of the worst. So he opened up the floodgates, and then he was forced to hear everybody dragging his wife for real, right? So he's continuously being tested, right? And poked at, right? So, and I feel like that's his doing. I feel like they could have been more private about their marriage. They decided to divulge, and everybody, there's vultures. So everybody took a piece of them, and then Will just projected it on Chris Rock that night. Again, Netflix, March 4th, live. Chris Rock will be addressing that Oscar slap, and I will be watching.
Well, this is a good segue into the Michael B. Jordan comment. There's an interview of Pac about when he was a nice guy and got no play from the ladies.
Mhm.
He went rogue and made the thug-like persona. He knew what sells. That's right. You got to be an animal in order to get these chicks on board, right? You got to be a piece of shit. That's right. What's wrong with you, nigga?
I think by now we all know Tupac wasn't thug life. It is what it is, but that's what sells.
Thing? Isn't this the bad boy corny thing? And Michael B. Jordan is the hero now. What, he's a thug now because the girl dumped him? I don't know. How does this work?
So tonight's topic: Michael B. Jordan went from simp to hero in the Manosphere. Okay.
Interesting.
So I'll pass the mic quickly. Here's my theory. I'll just throw it out there. People have an issue with men showing Black women love. Oh, we're going into race. Ouch, ouch. Everybody protect your rib cage, right? Tuck your chin. I feel like people have an issue, especially in the manosphere, when a man shows love to a woman. Okay. Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan's relationship, whether people think it was fake or not, Michael B. Jordan showed a lot of love and romance towards Lori Harvey. Whether you think it was a fake relationship or not, they were posting. He rented out an aquarium for her. He filled her hotel room with roses. He was sending her gifts. It was lots of love. The Manosphere went wild. He was simp of the year. He was the biggest punk. He was the biggest cuck. He was, oh my God, who invented this level of simpery? Like he was the echelon, the elite simp of all simps, right? Fast forward. He steps to a woman on a red carpet about her calling him corny, which she wasn't the one that called him corny. All hail the king. He's holding a Black woman accountable. Now the Manosphere is hanging on his nut hairs. Okay? Why? Because he's going after, in my opinion, a Black woman. And he opened up the floodgates for all these men in the Manosphere to also be justified in holding women accountable. So now that the word corny has been around, and I'm sorry, guys, the majority of men in the Manosphere are corny. You can quote me on that and do reaction videos if you like. Don't forget to tag me on the block with Jen to bring more people over here. Okay. So I feel like a lot of the guys that complain about women all day, y'all are corny, right? And men that aren't corny don't have issues with women because they're beating them off with a stick. Women want them a lot, right? So guys that don't have that luck with women are constantly talking about what women are supposed to be doing, and you got to fit in your frame, and you got to submit. And you gotta have a low body count, and you gotta bake pies, right? You guys are on here all day saying that shit. That to me is corny, right? So now that these Manosphere guys can relate to, oh my God, Michael B. Jordan was called corny. He's one of us, which he's not. You guys are not in the same realm, but you feel like you can relate to each other because of that word corny. So now fast forward, Michael B. Jordan is a hero of the Manosphere because he stepped to that woman now that he's, elite. He's elite Hollywood. So look at him now. You didn't want me back then, but now you want me. I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to pass the mic.
Wow, you know what? I'm not going to be long. But you know what? I want you two, Haran and Jen,
okay,
to remind me that I have an idea, which your monologue just gave me a idea for us to make some coins off these
Um,
characters in the
um,
future. Yeah, so I'm gonna write that down when I stop talking, when Haran starts talking, because yeah, there's something there.
throw it in the group chat.
Uh-huh. Um, yeah, this is real clear that not just the manosphere,
Mhm.
but I feel like a, a particular population in Black America is like that. And I've mentioned that before, like when a Black woman needs to be held accountable, it's like everyone floods to hold this Black woman accountable.
Mm.
Both, the men and the pygmies, right? But when it's the man, it's more like, oh, we gotta protect them. Black men have it hard, blah blah blah. And it's, I mean, Haran, I know you about to come for me, but I'm just saying because
It's getting spicy.
it's about to get spicy because I remember like when Gayle King said what she said about Kobe, right? Was she wrong? We can, I think she was. Some people might have been like she was just doing her job.
She was
I'm one of them people.
Well, okay, either way,
was wrong.
that's not the part I'm here to debate. But what I am up to debate is I saw how everybody came after this woman, right? It was crazy. But then I think like the following week, it was a man that did something, and then it was a complete, and it was like every other week I was noticing the flip-flop changes. I said, this is really interesting. So when you brought up the point about the Manosphere and how he went from simp to this, because I told you I wasn't aware of everything, right? So that was like, oh, okay, damn, I didn't know that. Makes total sense because this is what I've been seeing, not just with him, but with other people. It's totally different. It's like the hatred for Black women is so apparent at this point. And I'm not even one of those people who cry. Like, I'm not one of those people who cry because I'm Black, and everything because I'm Black, or it's because it's not none of that, but it's just clear at this point. It's so clear. And then to just see this most recent illustration of it, how he can go from being a simp to a hero just because he checked a Black woman is another exhibit. Now, Haran, come for me while I write down this business plan for us.
Actually, I wouldn't even. No, I'm not really coming for you. I just gotta ask a question. Like, and I'm asking the question on the men on the panel in the chat. Like, is it okay to do anything nice for a woman? Like, can you show love to a woman? Can you hug your lady? Can you, doing something romantic and so on and so forth? Is this considered cuck shit? Like romantic, spontaneous, thrilling, suave?
Oh, you're muted.
All right. To do all these things to make your relationship interesting, is that considered whack? Is that considered cuck shit? Are you supposed to just be this robotic, super stoic alpha, like ready to wrap your hand around a woman's neck at a moment's notice? I'm just confused. Somebody guide me here. Like, what are the protocols of actually being with a woman these days? Can you show any kind of affection? Like, what is that?
Okay, so is that a rhetorical question? Are you making a statement?
No.
Or you really want answers?
I'm actually really wanting answers. I'm really dead up serious.
Okay, so that's an actual question. Anyone, and if anybody's part of the Manosphere and wants to come up on the panel and speak for the Manosphere, you're more than welcome to, or you could chit chat in the chat. It's up to you. Really quickly, I want to show my thumbnail so you guys can see. This is the same man in both pictures. He was called all kinds of things, okay, when he did what he's doing on the left, and then on the right, he was called a hero. right? So here we have him on the left. Behind my picture you see there, that is the aquarium. He rented out an entire aquarium for Lori Harvey, filled it with flowers and candles for Valentine's Day, right? He was called all kinds of simps. He was the most horrible thing on the planet, according to the Manosphere. He was dating a woman that was for the streets. He was a cuck, all kinds of things. On the right, he confronts a black woman, and he is hailed a hero by the Manosphere. And I said, well, geez, that's the same man. That he turned into a hero pretty quickly. The only difference in those two pictures is in one picture, he's showing love for a woman. And in the second picture, he's kind of stepping to one because she called him corny. So he thought way back in the day, which she wasn't the one that called him corny, but she did make note of, yeah, we used to make fun of him in school. They made fun of us. It's high school. Right? But they saw it as, see, look, they don't want us. They don't want us when we're corny. Then they want us when we made it. The problem I have with the Manosphere guys that are building this narrative is that y'all is still corny. Again, you could quote me on that. Don't forget to tag on the block with Jen if you want to react to my videos and get my good side. Use this picture. Okay, screenshot that. All right, use a good picture of me, fuckers. Okay, so, so it happened that fast. It happened overnight. Now Michael B. Jordan is the guy who checked that black bitch. She spoke about the backlash. She said that people were saying she should delete herself. Okay, that she's the most rotten thing that ever happened to men. She said it. I believe it. I've seen people threaten other people for less. Okay, in these circles, right? In these circles. So why the men in the Manosphere that complain about women all day feel like they could relate to Michael B. Jordan, I do not know. I do not know. Also,
it's not connecting.
Also, Joe Budden recently said Michael B. Jordan, and I hate to be the whataboutisms, right? I hate to bring up the whataboutisms, but Joe Budden did mention that Michael B. Jordan wouldn't have done that to a white reporter on the carpet that he went to high school with, that he found it very easy to do this to a black reporter on the carpet. Now, of course, Joe Budden is speculating, but what say you, panel, if that was Becky, right? If that was Becky with the good hair on the carpet, like, hey, Michael B. Jordan, we went to high school together, blah, blah, would he have said, oh, the corny kid, right? You called me corny, right? Do you think Michael B. Jordan would have responded that way to her or just let it slide? Or does Michael B. Jordan feel a ways because it's like, oh, you're a black woman, I'm a black man, you're supposed to be looking out for me? What do you think?
He definitely wouldn't have, and you know why? Because he's today's Will Smith. He's drank the same Kool-Aid as Will Smith.
I want a chance to clean up some things for y'all, give y'all a little better understanding of what you see in front of you. So there was some celebration in the Manosphere a little bit. I didn't get the vibe that it was simp to hero though. Right. And I actually have seen a couple videos where guys share the same feelings that you do. Like it's too late and they're not buying it. You know what I mean? So there's a few different things going on over there. But for the most part, I get the feeling that they're like celebrating a man's evolution, if you will. You know what I mean?
So let me just say this. Okay, so let me just say this, right? Because I hear that a lot. I have and I'm not saying this is not, listen, I'm just saying this to say this. I have a bigger following than both of you, right? And I'm gonna qualify what I'm saying. So I have more exposure to people saying shit on the timelines, right? Like there are more people responding to me. Like George, you can write on your Facebook, Michael B. Jordan went from simp to hero, right? And get like 2 people responding. I do it and I have hundreds of people responding. So I see more people talking than you guys do. So when I say I saw some shit, it's because I saw some shit.
Okay,
right? But that's only because I have more exposure. So if you only have access to 2 people who are praising him, and I've had access to 100 people, and 50% of them are saying he's not shit, then I have more of an eye on. I have a different vantage point than you. That's all I'm saying.
And we have to do research for the show,
right?
So we have to go to all the different pages to see what's going on.
Yeah, well, I went to some of the Manosphere sites, some of them that I know, and I didn't see anything about it. Right. And my take on it is when I first looked at that, I was just thinking he checked some lady about his past He's just like saying, he's doing the, hey, you didn't like me then, but now you want to come up and be my buddy now when I've made it. That's the way I kind of took all that. And so I don't know. And the other thing, Jen, are you making the mistake of seeing race in every single interaction? That's what I kind of took when you said, well, if it's a white woman, I'm like, one part of me says I can understand why you're saying it. But at the other end of it, I'm like, are you committing the same sin that you've criticized other people about picking at their blackness?
Great question. I don't understand it though.
Okay, in other words, you should
I don't understand. I'm trying to understand it.
Like race and everything, it's like
no, because I like talking about race. But go on.
Yeah,
explain
but you're like seeing, maybe you were just trying to throw it out as a hypothetical. You didn't really believe that, but I was like, the way I took that, I was like, what? It's like everything about, if there was a white person there, then
okay, I got you. Perfect, I got you. Okay, so when I did the comment about the scab thing, what I was talking about was don't let, specifically like white people, I was talking to black people, like don't let them pick off the scab of whatever it is you think you went through or go through, right? Where every little thing they say, it's like, damn, you're picking off the scab and making it bleed again, right? That's different than me bringing up like what Joe Budden said. I actually didn't think about that until Joe Budden said it today. So Joe Budden said, Michael B. Jordan wouldn't have done that to a white reporter. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I didn't think about it till he said it, but I was like, that's why I'm bringing the question. Devil's advocate.
Right.
Right,
Devil's advocate.
Because we all know that the white woman is America's precious jewel. So the reason why I say he's the new Will Smith is because he doesn't want, like, he cares about white acceptance and white Hollywood and things like that. So he's not going to go disrespect America's precious jewel on the red carpet.
All right. So this is what I will say. And maybe you can come up with that. Maybe he can come up with that. But you got to come with some kind of example. Because you can say that all day. And it's just like you said, it's speculation. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But you'd have to show at least something that's similar. I'm not saying it has to be exactly.
So no, Saint, you're talking about when people say, well, what if had it been a white person? You're saying that there should be an example of what if there was a white person.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying that's definitely speculation. I'm not saying it's right or he's right or wrong. Maybe he's right. But I'm saying it's really easy to just throw that out there. Bring up, source up. Where's your source? Show me some examples, and then we can talk. I'm not saying maybe he's got examples.
Do you think that
being black in America is enough of an example because we know that there's a difference?
I get what you're saying.
No, I get what you're saying. No, Saint, this is my response to that. Isn't the absence of it happening the example?
All right, no, because if you show me,
okay,
prove a negative.
Talking, please. In other words, if you show me the example of it happening, then yeah, the absence of the reaction would be proof, or at least would bolster what your claim is. If you can't show me a white woman calling a black man corny, because, and you got to understand, there's a whole nother level to that anyway, because, and we're going to get into that with the topic that was supposed to be today about Deion
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Supposed to be today about Deion Sanders, because I saw the clip and I'm thinking these white guys are laughing because I know that show, that's a pretty national show. I'm like, if that was a white guy saying that, there would have been no laughing. It would have been like, oh, you said it, not me. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you're going to get that example because I don't know if there's a white reporter, male or female, that's going to call this guy corny.
Okay, that's another layer to it. Amin Morris says Becky probably wouldn't have called him corny for having headshots.
I just want to say,
I want to finish my rant, yo.
Wait, one second before you go into your rant. I know that's going to be a minute. It is not. I just want to say something real quick. I just love how in the chat that I'm reading a lot of this, how quickly you black men
ran to deify white women, man. Oh, man, y'all couldn't have waited. Y'all ran to put the white woman on a pedestal. You buck dancing, bend over niggas, man.
This just proved my point, Mel Saint. That's the point I was proving right there. Like that
person right here, I'm not gonna name the name, but he said black women treated him badly and white women treat, he basically said that black women treat black men badly. Look, listen, I don't know your history, brother. I've had my ups and downs with black women, but women, period. But black women didn't collectively treat me poorly. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe that's why you became a black Republican. That's on you. But look, listen. I saw it. I'm reading the comments. Y'all couldn't have waited to put that white woman on a pedestal. It made you feel like a man. Congratulations. Anyway, Reese, go right ahead, man.
I understand what Jen means. I'm pretty sure you ran into all type of BS talking about, discussing this Michael B. Jordan thing, right? But I have not seen in the Manosphere, and I'm on panels with some of the top players all the time. I haven't seen this praise. I've seen people mention it and talk about it, but they haven't passed the crown to this guy, yo. I haven't seen it. So
Okay,
I think they are celebrating his evolution. You know what I mean? And when y'all mentioned Gayle King earlier, that my temperature went up because.
Okay, but this is my point. But this is my point. They are praising his revolution right now.
Evolution.
Because Michael B. Jordan already had that revolution. He was already fucking Killmonger. He was already Creed. The Manosphere only gave a fuck about calling him a simp for Lori Harvey. Okay, that was their focal point when they mentioned the word Michael B. Jordan. They didn't mention Michael B. Jordan in the same frame of his revolution. No, he didn't marry her. They've been over. But my point is that the only time the Manosphere discussed Michael B. Jordan was to discuss that he was a simp. And now the second time they're talking about Michael B. Jordan is when a black woman allegedly dissed him in high school and then was trying to be his friend on a red carpet after. That is what I'm talking about. There is a meme. There is a meme. That's not what Reese, Lord. There's a meme that's floating around, right? That the Manosphere is sharing. All right. It's also all up and down on my Facebook. It is a fucking cartoon of that same woman that was on the carpet. I'm sure you've seen the cartoon where she's kind of like trying to talk to him in high school. And then she's like, whatever, you're corny. And then the second picture of the cartoon is like, oh, hey, I want to get with you. And the Michael B. Jordan cartoon is like, hey, no, you called me corny back then. That shit is making the rounds.
That's what.
I don't want to.
It's making the rounds.
I ain't even going to look for it.
I saw it on Twitter.
When y'all was talking about Gayle King, yo, that chick, she thought she was so slick. What she did was sub-evil. That was she, and she tried to pull that sister. She thought that Lisa Leslie took the pink pill, and she was wrong. She was wrong. She deserves much, much worse than what she got. She's not slick, and I'm seeing a lot more of that kind of BS. And I'm gonna tell you something. Put the whole gender war to the side. There's something going on in the world right now. I don't know about where you live, but where women can say whatever they want to any man, no matter what's going on, no matter how vicious it is. And I think there's some gaslighting going on. I think that they're doing this like to rub you the wrong way deliberately just because they can, because they got this protection. Like everybody knows you can't put your hands on a woman, which is bullshit.
But you said leave gender out of it. You said leave gender out of it. Are we? And then you follow that with women are
the whole
protected.
War out. All the concepts of the entire gender war. All the
I know, but then you follow that with women are protected.
I was making that statement to make it clear that I was only talking about one specific thing and not all of the other bullshit. This one specific thing, because we talked about what this woman said to this guy, right? He had every right to lay into her as deep as he wanted to. She opened her fucking mouth. She didn't have to say shit.
What are we talking about now? What innocent are we talking? Okay, because he confuses me. We back on Michael B. Jordan? What are you talking about? Where are we?
The point
he was talking about Gayle King here first, and then he went back.
there's a thing going on where women can say whatever they want, and then when you react to it, they lay into you for some reason. Like this, they're just supposed to be able to say whatever they want, and you just sit there and just take it like somebody's bitch.
Reese,
Brand
stay out
new.
of the manosphere.
It's never happened
Reese,
before. It's never
Reese,
happened before in history.
Reese, stay out of the manosphere,
Ever.
bro. Bro, stay out of the
I'll go in there
manosphere.
and roast them. I'll go in there and roast them clowns harder than y'all do. I got two of them
Stay
niggas
out
out
of
there
there,
don't even
man.
make
Stay out of
videos
there,
no
man.
more.
I want to bring something.
You don't understand.
Go
There's
ahead,
mythology
Nelson.
over there, Jen.
Okay, hold on, Reese. Hold on. Go ahead, Nelson.
And I want to bring up a different point, maybe a different perspective from Michael G. And this is speculation on my part, but from his perspective.
That's what we do here.
Let's say it was a white woman. It wasn't. It was a black woman. Maybe he's coming from the angle as, where I had to go, what I had to do to get to this spot. You should know better than to go on a radio show in front of everybody and drag me like that. So if it were a white woman, he might have let it slide, because there are differences, and white people can be very tone deaf to what's going on in other people's communities. I mean, so maybe it was that too. Maybe
it could have been.
If we're gonna say he's gonna let a white woman slide, it could be this from that perspective alone. Like, well, I don't expect her to understand, but you're someone I went to school with. You've grown up in America. You know especially knowing him growing up. You know what I had to do to get where I went. Where I was going, and then you're gonna go ahead and drag me like that. Could have been that too.
That's plausible.
Yeah.
That's plausible. I just, historically speaking, no, he knows it's dangerous to check a white woman like that in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But it's still plausible what you said as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not discounting that.
I can see where you're coming from, No Saint. Don't forget to super chat me, Cash App on the block with Jen. Hit that like and subscribe. I can see where you're coming from, No Saint. But here's the thing. Here, $10, Reese. So here's the thing.
Damn.
No Saint. Yeah, they're expensive. Here's the thing.
What's in that shit, Jen?
The problem with what you said, right? Because it's plausible, like Lily said. The problem is that Black women were already side-eyeing Michael B. Jordan because he dates outside of his race, right? So they're already side-eyeing him, right? So he's free game. He's like, oh, you want to, there's a divide. So Black women are like, oh, you want to date white? Fuck you all day. Here's what I think of you. I think you're corny anyway, blah, blah, blah. So, we've seen that before. We've seen that on this panel where Black men want to date white women or marry white women. And then when things go awry, what do? They turn to the
Malcolm
Black.
X.
Right. They turn into Malcolm X, or they turn to Black women like, you're supposed to protect me. You know my plight.
O.J. Simpson.
Right. You know my plight. Like, you're supposed to protect me. And then quite naturally, any human being on the planet, I don't care what race, creed, religion you are, our retort is going to be, no, motherfucker, let them protect you. That's not race or gender specific. Let them protect you. It could be personal. It could be your cousin.
Right.
Defending somebody else. And then shit goes awry over there. And then they're looking to you. Help me. No, motherfucker. You were rocking with that person. Let them protect you. So maybe they're coming. That's another layer to it. As far as the Gayle King thing, I want to talk about it really quick. Nothing merited the way that woman was berated and attacked and had her life threatened.
Horrible.
Okay? Nothing merited that. The only thing that did, and it's funny because Black men think that's like a score for them. They forget that they're in a world and they have mothers, sisters, nieces, and daughters who are Black. Okay. So all they do is create an environment where no matter how excellent that Black woman in their life is, she can always be brought down by a Snoop Dogg and be called a dog-faced bitch because she asked a question. And whether you like it or not, Kobe himself addressed this. That rape allegation is part of his legacy, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. He wrote an apology letter. Google that shit. Kobe Bryant wrote an apology letter to his accuser. Google that shit and read it. Read it because it'll give you a different perspective on that case and how Kobe himself
Snoop
took
had to apologize
accountability.
too.
Wait a minute. And how Kobe Bryant himself took accountability for putting himself in that situation. Okay, it is part of his legacy. After his death, unfortunately for the Bryant family, Twitter went ablaze. White women started bringing up, black women started bringing up, black men, white men started bringing up that Kobe Bryant was attached to a rape allegation. As a journalist, I feel like Gayle King did her job. What do? Right? We look at what's buzzing and then we bring it to the report. All Gayle King did was address something that was buzzing already on Twitter.
So
Okay?
it sounds like you're no longer able to do your job anymore.
No, you
No,
can't be a
it's
comedian
bullshit.
and you can't
It's
be a
bullshit.
journalist.
You gotta
Can't
look
be a
at the way
comedian,
she
you can't be a
posed the
journalist.
question. The way she posed the question, she extended that pink olive branch tried to reel her in with the pink bullshit. That's the way that question was posed. She asked her if it affected the way she felt about him anymore. That tied in all the dumb gender war bullshit in one
And
sentence.
that was a fair, and listen,
It
and
was
here's the thing.
evil.
No, it wasn't evil. It wasn't evil.
was.
It's just a lot of you men turned into some pink glittery bitches over the past couple years with social media. Okay? Because whatever her name is, Lisa Leslie, whatever the fuck, all she had to do is say, I'm not comfortable answering that, or I was Kobe's friend, and let's just do this interview and let's leave that out of it. That's all that had to happen. That's all that. Celebrities have been doing that for years.
Yep, they give you a whole list of what not to talk about and all of that stuff. Yep.
Very, very simple. That's all she had to do. LeBron James didn't have to get on there, protect Lisa Leslie. All of that didn't have to happen. Snoop Dogg didn't have to threaten her life. That was ridiculous. But again, y'all think it's funny. Y'all think it's funny, but you are just perpetuating the environment where the women in your lives have to live. That's
right.
it. That's all you're doing.
And that is my biggest question. I need to now. This is not a rhetorical question. How do people how do these manosphere men justify having mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, and cousins, and perpetuating this type of violence and just negativity toward women all day, every day, like all women, like not just like, okay, if you've been hurt by this woman, okay, talk about Kiki or whoever it is that did it, but the fact that it's like taken out on every single woman, and then you have all of these women in your life, how do you justify that? I need to know that.
I can answer that.
Help me out.
They give testimony about how the women in their families act like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them do. And it's not just. See, I don't be around a lot of the clowns that y'all talk. I know what y'all talking about. That thing has been totally infected, and it is so much mythology and bullshit over there. I'm with y'all on that, seriously. But the more serious guys that really talk about the issues that they see with the sisters, those are the ones that I rock with, and they don't take that low road that y'all talking about. You know what I mean? The sucker move that them cats be pulling, where they bottle chicks up sneakily. Right? They're not putting them in one group, but they're doing it in a sneaky way so that if you're a man listening, you'll receive it that way. Y'all following me? Those are clowns. Those are the men you're talking about. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm just talking about the guys that talk about the same thing that I see every single day for the past half a century. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna get into it because I'm not here to beat up on women. But there's a difference over there. You know what I'm saying?
But when you say things like, and words are powerful, when you say things like, Gayle King deserved worse than that, right? What you're doing is perpetuate, right? Okay. Do you have women in your family?
Yes.
Watch your mics, guys, because something is, watch your mics, please. There's like noise going on or some kind of shuffling. Go ahead, Reese. Let me hear this.
If one of my daughters ever behaved like that, they would get the worst lambasting they ever
behaved
got.
like what? Behaved like what? Let's be specific.
Like that pink pill bullshit and that gaslighting.
Behaved like what? If your daughter said what? If your daughter said what? Let's be specific. If your daughter said what? If she behaved like what?
exactly what the way Gayle King posed that question. If one of my daughters did some gaslighting bullshit like that, yo, I would really get into him for that, yo, and break it. I wouldn't scream on them, but I would give them the real truth because the world is gonna lie to them. I would give them
Okay,
the
so
real
let me
truth.
show you. Okay, let me show you what the chain reaction is. Let me show you what the chain reaction is. You see, you just said that, right? How old is your daughter?
Oh shit. Oh, 30 and 20 something.
Okay, 30 and 20 something. Let's say this is the chain reaction really quickly. Chain reaction. Some 20 something year old, right? In your daughter's environment heard you say that. Right? Now you put a battery in his back. Yeah, these black women better not be pink pill shit. Let a bitch say that to me. I agree with that, Reese from Philly. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me mute your mic because I want to get through this. Let me just mute your mic because I hate the hype. I don't need a hype man. I'm not rapping. Relax. So let's say a 20-something-year-old, an impressionable 20-something-year-old heard you, Snoop Dogg, Unk Snoop, and a lot of other black men say what you just said. Gayle King deserved worse, right? Now he runs into your daughter, right? He doesn't know that you're the father to that woman, but he heard you say that she deserved worse. She deserved worse than being berated. Now that kid goes out into the world thinking that. He runs into your daughter. Your daughter has an opinion. She's at Starbucks. She gets into verbal fisticuffs with him. And she says, yeah, Kobe did have a rape accusation. So what? He's thinking about what you said. That someone who talks against Kobe deserves worse than what Gayle King got. Now your daughter gets punched in the mouth. Laid out. Because, he was listening to you and Unc Snoop and other black men say, she deserved worse, right? Impressionable young man. He sees your daughter's black. She's talking shit about Kobe. Could just be an opinion, a random opinion. She gets punched in the mouth because he was listening to you. You see the chain reaction? That's the chain reaction. But you guys think you're winning something and getting something over on black women. She deserved worse. Meanwhile, you take shit from your white boss, okay? And you know better than to raise your fucking voice in that office. You take shit from the police, okay? You take shit from the system. But because a black journalist asked a question about a man, okay, who accepted he was accused of rape, she deserved worse. That dog-faced bitch will run up on you. She deserved worse. You're talking about a black woman who did everything right. Went to school, got a degree, got a job, never been in a scandal, dresses well, speaks well. And even that, with everything she did right, she was diminished by Unc Snoop. God, listen to Unc. You're co-signing. She deserved worse. So you understand that y'all are collectively creating an environment that's dangerous for your own daughters, for your own mother, for your own sisters. Y'all are creating that environment. Not white people, not systemic oppression. Y'all are single-handedly, collectively creating that environment for black women deserving worse whenever they say something. Or they on that pink pill, they deserve worse. Y'all are creating that environment. Y'all are creating that environment. Yeah, you can respond, absolutely.
All right, two things. I think Snoop is an asshole, right? I would have took that route because the world got his eyes on him. And even if the world didn't have their eyes on him, he's still an asshole for what he did. I don't condone that. What I mean to say is she should have got much worse. I'll even use Snoop. Snoop, instead of cussing her out or whatever he did, should have exposed her for what she is and spit the real truth about her agenda. Because one thing that Gayle King understands, and the rest of those entertainers and our handlers, they all understand how stupid everyone is. But they know.
Whose fucking mic is that? Jesus, y'all killing me.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
Good.
They understand how stupid people are. And this happened at the height of the gender war. And you could tell in the tone, you could tell by Lisa Leslie's facial reaction that right as soon as the question was finished, there was an agenda in what she was doing. That chick has always been on some BS. I follow Gayle King for a long time.
What's the worst she deserved? You said she deserved worse.
Yeah, all he did was cuss her out. That does nothing to a woman. What you do
Okay,
is
what? Just answer the question. Let's explore this. He
What's
cursed
worse?
her out. He cursed her out. He had
Doing it.
hundreds of people. He had hundreds of people going after her. He threatened her life.
Damn.
What worse does she deserve? Answer the question. What worse does she deserve? You said twice she deserved the worst. What worse does she deserve? Answer the question. If I say somebody deserves worse, I'm gonna have an example. Answer the question.
What he did sounds horrible, but it
Stop
wasn't. It's all fun.
stop saying what he did. I'm asking you, Reese. You said she deserved worse. What worse does she deserve?
To be exposed for the bitch she is.
What worse? What does that look like?
The exposure, all he had to do was publicly say something different. Don't cuss her out. Break down what she did to the world and her agenda. And
What did she do
that,
to what did she do to the world? What did Gayle King do to the world?
In front of the world. In front of the world. What
Okay.
she did in front of the world. She threw a
What did
pink
she
pill
do?
alley-oop and everybody missed it. Snoop could have came out and exposed the bitch for what she was, and then everybody would have understood then. Then these dumbass panels that came up after that, well, none of them would have happened. Everybody would have got it.
So you
know
have
what I
no
mean?
idea.
Now, look,
You have no idea what should have happened.
Exactly. That's exactly what he should have done.
Okay, what should he have done? Expose her for what exactly?
For the bullshit that she tried to pull and get over on everybody. Expose her for what she tried to do, and then give everybody the real facts about what her agenda was.
Am I bugging? Am I bugging? Does he not understand the question? Does he not understand? I'm still trying.
Yeah. I explained exactly what he could have done that was worse than that. That would have been worse.
No, I'm saying.
Expose her and really put her out there.
Let me mute your mic real quick. I'm asking a question. What did she do? And how should she have been exposed? I'm not understanding. R. Kelly is doing time. I think he should have got worse. How worse? I think he should be castrated and his hands amputated. I think he should be castrated and his hands amputated. I think R. Kelly and other pedophiles should get worse than time. You see how I did that? I think he should have got worse. Hands amputated and castrated. You could quote me on that. So now I'm asking the question again. I'm going to try one last time and then I'm going to move on. What exactly did Gayle King do in front of the world to Kobe Bryant? What did Gayle King do in front of the world to Kobe Bryant? And what worse should she have gotten? What worse? Now I'm going to unmute your mic. And if you can't answer those questions, we're going to move on. Ask one last time. What did Gayle King do to Kobe Bryant in front of the world? And what worse should have happened to her? Try one more time and then we'll move on. Your mic is unmuted.
She made it her business to make a deal about the worst moment of his life while the world was mourning his death and while one of his best friends was sitting right there. And she thought we were all stupid.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. Because you answered it. Great. You answered it. You answered it. Now answer the second question. What worse should have happened to her? You answered the first question. Thank you. What was this? Now the second question is, what worse should have happened to Gayle King?
Exposing her would have been much, much worse than threatening her. Because threatening her was corny and nobody's buying them that bullshit.
Okay, exposed her how?
Exposed her for what she did, trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes with that sneaky bullshit she did in that interview. He should have done a video and explained what she was doing just the way I did a minute ago. That's exactly what he should have said. The same thing I said 1 minute ago. It would have killed her soul.
Okay, so and what she did. Reacted. Okay, and what you're saying she did was talk about one of the worst moments in his life
on his death
during that interview.
While the world was mourning his death. Remember, he died.
Okay, great. Now we're getting somewhere. Thank you for answering. We took the long way, but we got here. So let me just say this. Gayle King did not start that train of Kobe Bryant being accused, bringing up Kobe Bryant being accused of rape. After Kobe Bryant's death, listen to me clearly. After Kobe Bryant's death, two white women with large followings on Twitter, okay, brought up his rape allegations. One of them literally said, she's the actress from Westworld, one of the lead actresses on Westworld. I forgot her name. I don't give a fuck about her. But one of the white actresses from Westworld said, he's still a rapist. He's still a rapist, though he's dead. Right? We can't forget that. Abigail Disney, okay? The Disney heiress, Walt Disney, also spoke on Kobe Bryant, still a rapist, even though he's dead, while the world was mourning Kobe Bryant. Abigail Disney did it. The chick from Westworld did it. It started trending because both these women have huge platforms. Started trending on Twitter. Then other women jumped into the fray. Yeah, Kobe, yeah, even though he's dead, we can't forget he was accused of rape. He's still a rapist. And it was trending on Twitter. Okay, this for the people that took the short yellow bus. So Gayle King, as we all do, like Lily explained, when there is a story, we start researching and we start looking at and taking notes of what everybody's saying. That's why I brought up Joe Budden with Michael B. Jordan, because now Joe Budden jumped into this conversation, right? So that's what we do. You research, we see who's saying what, and then we bring it, right, to the platform. So Gayle King was like, oh shit, Abigail Disney's jumping into this. That chick from Westworld's jumping into this. There's a question to be asked. So let me ask Lisa Leslie or whatever the hell that woman's name is. That is what happened. Gayle King did not start connecting Kobe Bryant to his, I didn't say that you said that. I didn't say that you said that. But the way you black men talk about Gayle King, right? The way you black men talk about Gayle King, because you don't go outside of the black community to see what people are saying. Y'all just checking for what black people are saying. But outside of the black community, there's a whole world. There's a whole world outside of the black community. And there's usually white people saying shit that's 10 times worse than what black people are saying. 10 times worse. None of you, not even Snoop Dogg, whose ears to the streets, he didn't say nothing about Abigail Disney. He didn't say nothing about the actress from Westworld. But he called Gayle King a dog-faced bitch, threatened her, talking about we could pull up. Meanwhile, Gayle King never said he was a rapist too. She asked a question that was apropos for what was happening on our timelines. Abigail Disney straight up called him a rapist. So did the chick from Westworld. All you black men, don't interrupt me, George. All you black men jumped on Gayle King. Not one of you had heat for them white people. Not one of you. But you want to sit up here on this platform and call Gayle King a bitch and say she should have got worse. What you got for them two white actresses? Let's hear it, Reese. Let's hear what you got. What you got for Abigail Disney and what you got for that white actress from Westworld, okay? Who called him a straight rapist. What you got? What you got, Reese? Let's hear it. What should have happened to those white women?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even know about that shit, but now that
you know about that. Now that you know, what should have happened to those white women? Let's hear it. Matter of fact, here's what I'm gonna do. Wait a minute. I'm gonna do one better. You on the solo layout, Reese. Let's hear you, black man. What should have happened to those white women?
This is what should have happened to them. Exactly the same thing that I just described a few minutes ago. Just simply make a video exposing them for their bullshit. No, nothing harsh, not even any curse words, no threats, none of that attacking their physical looks, anything. Just make a video. Same treatment for Gayle King. No, nothing different for anybody different. Same deal. I think people got more gaslit maybe because, black people are always on this blackity black shit and they felt more offended maybe because Gayle King was black. I can't be so sure about that. I didn't really care either way. I was just mad about I'm a Kobe fan. That's what upset me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get into all that colorism stuff and treating people different and all that. Nah, they all get the same treatment. All of them. Fact.
Well, if you don't, the JR, if you have a problem with my mic, get the fuck on and I see you on the next stream. Also, if you have a problem with my mic, let me know when you're going to get me a new one. You know, I don't give a fuck about what y'all got to say. Get the fuck off the stream if you don't like how it sounds. It's so easy. Georgie Porgy, what were you saying, sir?
Okay, sorry that I butted in there on you. I understand why everything was going. Yeah, that was okay. But what I'm going to say is Gayle King, she's a journalist. Okay, she is a bona fide journalist.
I agree.
For real. And that was a rape accusation that was never proven. He never got charged. Nothing happened. Okay, with that. He didn't get charged. He didn't, as far as I know, did he get sued by them and they got a judgment against him? Like what happened to, what's his name? The quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson, where he settled out of court with these women over, sexual assault stuff, or it wasn't technically sexual assault, but it's like right borderline with it. She knew that that accusation against him had not been proven. And yet my take on that is she threw that out there and into the way my take on it, as I'm understanding this, is that perpetuate a narrative about, men getting the whole Me Too thing, right? Men are getting away with this, they're getting away with that. And then, what about Kobe? Because he's a star, there was that rape allegation against him. What about that? I just think that, especially in that, maybe the timing, she could have asked that question after, a little bit of time went by. But at the same time, that's the thing. That accusation was not founded. It was not legally. They didn't prove it. He didn't go to jail for it. He didn't spend one night in jail over it. So I'm kind of see a little bit where Reese and them are coming from a little bit, in that, I don't think throwing that in there was like, imagine being at a funeral, you're burying your parent, and somebody walks up to you and says, yeah, well, you're whoever your relative is, they fucked around with all these other people. They did that, right? How do you feel about that? And you'd be like, whoa, hold on here. You're fucking, number one, you're at my funeral. Two, you're sitting here talking. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is not even true. And that's it's not the perfect example, but that's kind of like how I saw it.
All right, so let me respond to that. Here's the thing: if we change the scenario, then it ups the ante. They weren't at a funeral, right? If we change the scenario, ups the ante. That would be totally inappropriate. However, they were at an interview where they were talking about Kobe's legacy. Okay, here's the exact quote again. Let's look at the evidence, not what we thought we heard, not our interpretation, right? Let's look at the exact quote. They're talking about Kobe Bryant's legacy. Gayle King says Kobe Bryant's legacy was complicated. She asked Leslie if Bryant's legacy had been tainted by the rape allegations. That is the exact quote. She didn't say, hey, what do you think about Kobe being a rapist? She said his legacy was complicated. Do you think the rape allegations tainted him? As Kobe's friend, I would have said, no, here's why. Did you read the apology letter he wrote to his accuser? No, here's why. Do you know what Kobe has done for people? No, I don't think it tainted his legacy. Here's why. Right? What Lisa Leslie did was play the victim. Everybody ran to, how dare she say that, blah, blah, blah. Now, it was much ado about nothing. It was just said, right? I think the timing was more about her saying in a very hypersensitive environment. We have a very hypersensitive environment now with these machines. Everybody's sensitive. Everything is shaming. Hey, you're fat. Stop shaming me. Hey, I don't like, stop shaming me. Hey, why are you eating avocado? Stop shaming me. I'm on a diet. Stop shaming me. Everybody's being shamed now. Everybody's hypersensitive. You can't say shit about shit now. Everything is wrong. Oh my God. The journalists are wrong. The comedians are wrong. Everybody's shaming, right? So I think that's more regarding timing. I think that's where Gayle King fucked up, where she asked that question during a time where everybody's sensitive, right? Not that Kobe died, right? That if we want to talk about bad timing, the bad timing was, oh shit, Gayle King asked that at a time where everybody has one of these now. Everybody has an opinion and everybody's shaming. Everybody's shaming. Everybody, oh my God, I don't like your hair blonde. Stop hair color shaming. Right? But literally, she said Kobe Bryant's legacy is complicated. What made it complicated was that rape allegation. Gayle King did not say, what do you think about him? You know, that rape thing he did. Kobe himself addressed that. Also, I disagree with you, George, that it wasn't a big deal. He did a fucking press conference with his wife sitting there holding his hand. Okay? There was a court case going on. All right. There was a court case going on. Kobe had to fight that in court.
On game day.
He had to fight that in court.
Okay. Even more, even what you just said even backs up even further what I said.
How so?
He did not go to jail.
She didn't say that. She said
not.
Yeah, but I know, but she never said that he went to jail.
That was a loaded question, and you know it. When she
hey,
said,
Jen, can I clean up something I said real quick?
No, I didn't. No, I don't know, George.
And you know how those words are going to play.
No, George, I disagree with you vehemently. I disagree with you.
And the fact that it was already trending while this
that doesn't matter. She is
a
journalist.
No, it matters.
It's back on
the
forefront again.
Hey, Jen, I want a chance to clear myself up on something, right?
Now, so, Reese, listen, you know we got love for you here. You don't need to clear yourself up. The reason why I was yelling is because I'm telling you, black men have the tendency to go after black women the way they don't go after white women. That's all that was. I was just using it as an example. But we cool.
Or other black men.
We cool. I'm just saying, the quote you just read to me, right? The quote you just read to me, that I wasn't upset at that. Something happened like shortly after that where I can't quote it, but she said something along the lines like, did this affect the way you felt about him, or did it affect your relationship in any way? And the way she posed the question, I was getting the feeling that she was on some like, how could you type shit. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's just me because I'm a man, but there was a lot of brothers that was seeing it that way. It's not that statement. It's the one she made a little bit later when she asked Lisa Leslie, like, do you think this affected the way you feel about him, or something like that? She said, and it sounded like, I don't know, sound icky to me, man. Look, it was a sensitive time, and the gender war was at its height.
See, and that's the thing that you can be. Listen, you don't have to like everything that people say, but let's quote Snoop now. I mean, let's quote Snoop now. Funky dog head bitch, back off, bitch, before we come get you.
That's crazy.
Before we come get you. Okay. And this is the same man, and Lily, I'll pass the mic. This is the same man who's licking chocolate off of Martha Stewart's finger. Google that picture of your Unc Snoop.
I don't fuck with him.
Google that picture of your Unc Snoop. This is the same black man who's licking chocolate off of Martha Stewart's finger.
Wow.
Okay? Google it.
Not Snoop, not bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
So to respond to George, no, I don't think it was a loaded question. I think it was a timely question because after Kobe's death, the rape case was buzzing on Twitter. It was buzzing on Twitter. What were you saying, Lily?
Well, no, that's what I was basically going to say is that it was put back into the forefront of the public's mind by the white women. And so it was like, where was the smoke for the people who put it back into the forefront of it? So as a journalist, because that's what we do, when something is put back into the forefront, we bring it back up again because it's in the forefront. It's trending. That's just how all journalists work. No matter how fucked up it is or not, we've talked about some fucked up shit on here. You know what I'm saying? But that's our job when it gets pushed back into the forefront. So it's simple as that. But what was their smoke at?
Oh, I agree with you there. The women who said actually called him a rapist,
and they called him a rapist. Gail didn't.
Right, and they should have been lit up for that. They should have.
That's my only issue with it. Now, had it not been buzzing on Twitter, right? Had it not been buzzing, and then Gil King asked that, then it's left field. It's like, whoa, where's this coming from? But it was trending on Twitter, started by 2 white women, not by Gil King. Started by 2 white women who have huge platforms. Westworld is a hit show. I used to watch it.
Oh, and the other thing is, to add to that, a lot of times when things are trending or put back into, like, sometimes journalists don't even want to talk about it. They don't even care, right? But because it's put in, you have to talk about it. Just how it goes.
Is there any limit then to whatever bullshit that's trending? If it's bullshit, it's all about bullshit today. And so we're going to talk about bullshit. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I'm just carrying this to the admittedly the most absurd level. But like, if something's trending, we got to cover it. I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. But then again, I'm not a journalist, so I don't. I'm just saying from a matter of ethics and stuff like that, it was like perpetuating a narrative about him that was not really fair, But
wait a minute, when you say that, George, perpetuating a narrative, he factually got accused, but it's not. I know, but it wasn't a narrative. He literally got accused of rape. He apologized to his accuser. He went to trial for that rape. What narrative? It factually happened. It actually happened. It's not a made up narrative.
Was he convicted?
No, he was not.
Okay.
That's why she said allegations.
Right.
Okay, so he was just an allegation, went to court, and he said, hey, look, maybe, I apologize to her, but the narrative still sticks. That's there. Is that since you were accused and he went as far as to take you to court over this, therefore, where it's kind of like the old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And so, but it's kind of like with her, maybe Gail did this unwittingly. Okay. Unwittingly. I kind of doubt that. I should back up from that. Before I start saying that she intentionally tried to do this. But anyway, the way the question was framed is that to me, it was just perpetuating a narrative about him that may have not been true. And that as a journalist, she should have had some higher standards and said, pull the question and didn't ask it, or ask it some other time. That's all.
Higher standards, a journalist is
right.
But this is what
they decide what's newsworthy. Okay, they decide what's newsworthy. They go down the list and pick up all kinds of things. They have their own internal ethics where they're at, what they cover and what they won't cover, what they will talk about, what they won't talk about.
Yeah, but the mainstream media, period, is the most lowbrow media that you probably can get at this point, right? So to have any type of expectations of standards is just, with them at this point, it's a wrap, right?
I'm sorry.
The other thing is when you're dealing with someone, any celebrity, right? And I'm going to say for Kobe, with him being a basketball player, someone may be famous, right? And they may be most famous for basketball. But if you're not into sports, the first time you may have heard about him was this big court case, right? Just like OJ. Big court case. I don't know shit about his football career. Big court case. That's all. When I think of OJ, I think of that. So there's people out there who, when they think of Kobe, that's what they think of. Or when they think of Michael Jackson, that's who they think of. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. At the same time,
you got a point, Lily.
You know what I'm saying? At the same time, we're like, when you're a public figure, it's just, you got to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? It's it counts the territory.
I know that you're you've kind of talked about you're out in public where in your profession, you know, I guess you're telling me this with even you with whatever, you know, they could report about you, right?
I tell myself this, yes.
Okay.
I got to take the good with the, this is literally what I tell myself. Like, I can't be like enjoying the fruits of my labor and all of this glamorous stuff and then not accept this other stuff that comes with the territory, because it comes with the territory. It's not personal.
Right. Okay.
Also, when you're unfortunately, when you're a public figure, right? You're not beyond reproach, right? You're just not. Like, if he didn't want, if Kobe, and the reason why I found what Snoop did even more upsetting is because I feel like Snoop tainted his name, because that's not the way Kobe would have handled that situation. He wouldn't have called Gayle King a dog-faced bitch and we're going to come get you. His apology letter to his accuser was very poignant. He was holding himself accountable. It was very graceful. Okay. He even said to his accuser, if you felt that way, I partook in doing something that made you feel that way. He held himself fully accountable in that apology letter. And then this piece of shit, this dirtbag, Snoop Dogg, okay, this piece of shit, this broken buck, okay, mixed his name in with berating a Black woman, which is not something Kobe would have did. I feel like part of Kobe's legacy is also he was an amazing communicator, right? I feel like Snoop muddied his name. He made it 10 times worse, in my opinion. And that's not how Kobe would have handled that situation. I thought it was disgusting what Snoop Dogg did, but it's very easy for Snoop, especially every time he's talked about Black women, it's been bitches and hoes and sluts. He walked two Black women to the Grammys on leashes. But whenever you see, he's also cheated on his wife repeatedly, publicly. He's been found out repeatedly to cheat on his wife. So whenever Snoop Dogg has in his career dealt with Black women, it's always been in the most horrible, negative way. But then you could Google pictures of him smiling and hugging on white women and licking chocolate off their fingers. I take issue with that image, right? I take issue with that image. I think, go ahead.
And he berated Gayle to uplift Vanessa too. Remember, that was a part of the rant as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So I'm just like, you know, Snoop is a very interesting, strange character. I mean, Kobe Bryant himself says, the rape case helped me become a better person. That's his point of view. That was his point of view. So I don't think that Gayle King was perpetuating a narrative that didn't exist. Kobe accepted that was part of his legacy now.
Was it true?
Unfortunately.
That's my saying. I always say that to myself. Was it true?
Was it true? And when you fuck up, you have to, you know what I mean? You have to live with it. We all have to live with it. Why is Kobe above that? Why is Kobe? Because he plays ball? Because you like him on the Lakers? Why is Kobe above bringing up something that he did that was fucked up? Even if all he did was cheat on his wife, why is Kobe above it? Why is Kobe above it?
I told you about the time I went on that talk show and the first thing they brought up was something negative from my past, literally out the gate, boom. And I had to take it and just be like, smile and keep my show face on. And like, well, shit, they wasn't lying. Right?
And I think going back to what George said is that because of the hypersensitivity that these machines are conditioning everyone to be and to have now, it's like now no one can do their job. When you ask like, well, what's off limits then? That's the same question we're asking the comedians, you notice? You notice? Like every profession now is like, well, where's the limit? Where before jokes were just jokes. Jokes were just jokes before. Now it's like, hey, don't come after Jada. You can joke about these people, but not Jada. Journalists, hey, you can ask this question, but not that question because I don't like that question. Only ask this as a journalist. We are literally tying everyone's hands. It is becoming ridiculous. We're tying everyone's hands. There was a Puerto Rican actress. I forgot her name. What the fuck was that chick's name? Lilia Haran, the one that was rapping along with the Fugees.
Oh,
And then a big deal was made from that because she was rapping along with the
with the
Fugees.
N-word.
Huh,
And
yeah.
she said,
You can't say that. And she was like, I'm sorry. I apologize. I can't, you know what I mean? We're tying everyone's hands to the point of nauseum. It is ridiculous. Now, journalists can't ask questions. Comedians can't tell jokes. Actors can't take these type of roles. Like, we are tying everyone's hands. It is becoming utterly ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's nonsensical. Where are we going to end up?
In a police state.
I feel like we're getting closer and closer to being China every day. Social credit score, here we come.
So it's weird, man. It's fucking weird.
It is.
It's weird. It's weird. Then he shouldn't have did it, TK. He shouldn't have did it. If his family didn't want to hear it, Kobe, as much as we love him, should have kept his dick in his pants. Why can't two things be true? We all mourned Kobe. We all cried. We all were devastated. All of us were devastated. But it was Kobe's decision to cheat on his wife. Had it not been for him cheating, there would never be a rape allegation.
Consequences. We don't get to determine what our consequences are. We don't.
I mean, don't you guys yell on YouTube all day, hold women accountable? Why doesn't anybody hold women accountable for what they've done? But when it comes to your favorite athlete, you don't want anyone holding him accountable. That is part of his legacy, whether you like it or not. It was a big case. It was front page news every time Kobe went to court. This wasn't a little case. He held a press conference with his doting wife sitting next to him. It was big. That case was huge. You can love Kobe and still accept that he was accused of rape. He's an athlete. He's untouchable. If it was your cousin Kobe, you wouldn't give a rat's damn.
Well,
Matter of fact, at the funeral, they'd be like, yeah, you heard that motherfucker what he had did? At the funeral, what are you talking about?
Or like my dad telling the guy's son that his dead dad owed him $2,000.
God damn.
He got the money though.
Look at her on.
He got the money. I was like,
I mean, if there was ever an example of an inappropriate moment, now that motherfucker should have got his ass beat. I just want to say a few things. After that very.
I sure did, Black Republican. I sure did. I even did a skit about his death. I sure the fuck did. And what? You still in my chat?
I just want to say a few things. Just a quick, maybe rant. First of all, I just want to also put out there, since we're discussing Snoop and the facts, he apologized real fast. His white bosses gave him a call.
Next day.
He apologized to that woman real fast.
Next day.
So yeah, you know what I mean? He apologized real fast. Let's not forget about that. The white hand of correction fixed that real quick. But anyway, another thing too, I just want to say, this goes for black men and black women, as I see the gender wars go on and on these YouTube platforms. I just want you guys to keep something in mind. We're talking about a race of people who, in terms of white people, we're talking about a race of people who murdered and raped your ancestors, who continue to support and perpetuate institutionalized racism, deny you reparations, they turn a blind eye to police brutality, but yet still in all, you all seem to have find the time to put them on a plateau, on a pedestal, as opposed to your own people. You love them more than you love each other. And then they're really the reason why you hate each other. Isn't that some sick irony for you? And I'll give you some more sick irony. no matter what white men and white women go through, no matter what, and they go through shit. They hate each other a lot of times. Yeah, it's the manosphere, the white manosphere is full of white men crying about white men. But I tell you one thing, what they won't do, they'll never divest from each other to go with your black ass. You ever find out how funny that is? Ever heard a white person say, "This is bullshit, I'm gonna go date black"? You ever heard that before? I hear that all the time though. The black women talking about they're gonna divest, black men talking about they're gonna go get their passports. So let me get this straight. The best option you could come up with is to run away from your blackness. That is the best option you could come up with. Okay, yeah, I'm done.
Hey, Jen, I want to get out of here.
All right, Reese.
Hey, listen. I savored the day that Wanda Chica introduced you and me and Annalicia. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking this in my head on day one. I kind of like this crazy bitch. I hate to say that.
You talk about me, Reese?
I hate to say that like that, but that's what was in my head on the first day.
You talking about me?
Yeah, y'all was going hard.
Don't ever call me a bitch again, ever.
Never.
Ever.
But I did say that to myself. I got to be honest.
Okay, that's fine.
So you can roast me for that. You can roast me for that.
That's fine, Reese.
But listen, man, you let me come up.
Voter. I don't vote Democratic. I'm an independent voter. Yeah.
Go ahead, Reese. Reese, you gotta go.
Yo, I'm glad you let me up on your panels, man. I'll be back. I won't be Freaky Friday, but I'll come back.
We love you, Reese. Come back mañana. Tomorrow's gonna be on and popping too.
I'm not doing Freaky Friday. I'll be in the chat.
It's not Freaky Friday. It's not gonna be Freaky Friday. Wait a minute. Today's Thursday, Lily?
No,
it's Wednesday.
Right. So no, tomorrow's not Freaky Friday. We got another spicy one. We got a special guest coming tomorrow who has a very great point of view that I like. Okay, so we're gonna have somebody extra on the panel.
Here, yo.
Yes, please. You keep saying that. All right.
All right. Love all of y'all.
Love you back, Reese.
All right.
What were we saying?
Shoot, Haran shut it down.
We can
go ahead and close out now because Haran just shut that down. That was a message. Hallelujah. We just need the plastic collection plate one more time. So anybody wants to send a cash app, you want to send a super chat because we sending around a collection plate. Hallelujah.
Okay.
How many people were in the chat? I didn't see.
I see. It was 48 until I started saying something. They 3 on left.
It was spicy. It was spicy as fuck tonight. Black Republican. He asked me, "Where's my class?" So let me read off what I responded. I said, Black Republican, my class is up your ass next to that dildo you sit on. In case you missed that comment, that's where my class is. It's up your ass next to that dildo you sit on. Just reading it out loud in case you ignore it. All right, damn, the chat was popping. Shit. There's a lot of shit going on in that chat.
Yeah, they was saying a lot today.
Yeah, no, tonight was spicy. Tomorrow's going to be spicy as well. We're going to get into the comments that Deion Sanders made about, and we're going to talk about the Black Manosphere too, because our guest tomorrow has quite a gripe with the Black Manosphere and expresses himself very, very well. I found his talking points very interesting. I heard him on the Star Report, and I invited him over, and we're going to ask him some questions. I also want to dissect Deion Sanders' latest comments about how they pick football players, right? Regarding if the football player has 2 parents or is raised by a single mother, what position he should play and why he plays a good position if he's, raised by a single mother or not. I thought those comments were controversial, you know what I mean, coming from a Black man. And again, George, had they been said by a white man, a lot of people would be marching to Selma right now. So, and that's why I want to address that tomorrow with our guest. So come with your questions. This guy has a lot of great talking points. I found him interesting and I invited him. He was gracious enough. He usually doesn't cam up, but he said he will cam up with us mañana. So that's tomorrow's topic. That was supposed to be tonight, but it'll be tomorrow. I also want to discuss the white, the guy, the cartoonist, who was
Scott
saying,
Adams.
what's his name, George?
Scott Adams.
Scott Adams, the white man who said, stay away from black people and stop trying to help them. It's futile. I thought that was interesting as well. He did lose his job and people were like, yeah, but I'm like, looking at the guy's age, I think people are just to the point where I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say what I mean. People were saying, yeah, he got fired. But I'm like, the man, in my opinion, he looks like he's close to retirement anyway. It doesn't look like it's going to hurt him, because he got fired from that. I think he's probably to the point where I don't give a fuck, right? And I'm sure he's made plenty money from that cartoon that he does and things like that. So I want to talk about pseudo power. We'll get into that tomorrow. Even though people think pseudo power doesn't exist, I actually pulled it up. And we'll get into that. Any parting words? I don't know if we talked about Michael B. Jordan enough. Reese came and derailed this shit with Gayle King. Any parting statements on Michael B. Jordan and this whole thing on the red carpet and how now men are paying attention to him because he was corny and now he's not, and they wouldn't care about him when he was a Lori Harvey. He was a simp back then.
Yeah, I got a parting word.
Let's hear it.
Let go of the girl that broke your fucking Valentine back in 6th grade. Okay.
He didn't get a be mine heart.
If it makes you feel any better, she's probably 300 pounds right now. She has 4 fucking children. You got a great job. You hopefully, you're in good health. Just let it go. You know what I mean? A lot of these issues that a lot of you have, you find out that life is so much easier to live if you just learn to let some shit go. You're acting like women, ironically, because women don't ever let shit go.
And I want to say for all you guys out there suffering in the manosphere or pissed off, such a great statement. I was watching a Star Report earlier, and basically they were saying that, a lot of these guys are just pissed off that there are women who are very attractive that are not attracted to them, and they feel resentful and bitter about it. But everybody's not supposed to be attracted to anybody anyway. So here I am, a very attractive woman. You can cash out me $100 and go on a virtual date with me for 1 hour, and I will be all ears and listen to you and even give you some tips on how to improve yourself. And I'll be nice. It'll be me and you. You bring your dinner at your house, I'll bring my dinner, and you and I could sit across from each other. And then all it'll take is $100 cash app. You get an hour with me. It'll be a virtual date, and you'll have my full attention. Doesn't matter what you look like, okay? Doesn't matter your background. You can go on, see an attractive woman. Will give you her full. No, I'm being dead serious.
Are you gonna be fit, friendly, and feminine?
I will be fit, feminine, and friendly for an hour.
Will you be submissive for a whole hour? Can you be submissive for a whole hour?
I can be submissive on a virtual date for an entire hour. Matter of fact, George.
I'm tempted to do this just to test you.
Listen, as a matter of fact, you will get to see how I interact with a man on a regular date. $100, 1 hour with me. Virtual date, you will have my full attention. I will not be on my phone. I'll bring my dinner. You can bring your snack or your dinner, or you don't have to. And you and I, whoever you are out there, and I'm dead serious. I don't care what background you come from. Cash at me $100. We'll sit for an hour and go on a virtual date. It'll be private. It will not be recorded. You can hang out with me. I'm not taking anything off. You cannot see my nipples or my ass. It'll be a virtual date. Okay? Dead serious. Because when I heard that earlier today, I said, you know what? They have a point. I heard this on a Star Report. They have a point. These men are angry that they can't interact with certain women on a date. Here I am.
Right.
Here I am.
You know what? That's brilliant, Jen. I really, while you're doing it, but that's really good. I'm going to think about this because
think about it. I'm dead serious because I'm like, you know what? These guys are pissed that they just can't. And we can have coffee I won't be drinking coffee, but that'll be your coffee date. You can bring your coffee. I'll be drinking a smoothie. Me and you, 1 hour virtually. Do not ask me to take anything off. Okay? Because I got a preacher in my DMs right now talking about, but can I see your body? No, you cannot, sir.
It's for
No,
the
you cannot.
Lord. It's for the love of the Lord. He wants to know. He wants to know what the Lord has made.
He's
It's
a
research and
preacher.
develop. Well, it's research and development. It's all. Yeah. Just trying to see what the Lord has made. That's it.
Oh my God. No, the
Well, you
preacher,
put
the
it
preacher is
more
like, I
that
want
because you read the Song of Songs. Remember, I was talking about that book in the Bible. You know,
look, what you call it? See, Rod Veal said, Jen making dreams come true. I'm just serious too. I will treat it like a first date. I'm not going to attack you. But if you ask me, hey, how can I improve X, Y, and Z? What do you think about this? I'm going through this with a woman. I went through this. How can I? But I'll be here. I will be your date and your friend. 1 hour, $100. If not, don't slide into my DMs. Waste my time.
Period.
And don't ask me for a discount. That's what it is. Okay. Those are my freaking parting words for this whole. If you feeling corny, okay, if you feel like you're a corny guy, can't get on a date, you can. Lily, George, any final parting words before we close?
Regarding Michael B. Jordan, I'll let Lily have the last word on this. I think it's much ado about nothing. It's been kind of like, if there's people making smoke about it, it's kind of like, I'm like, move on. And, it's nothing. It was just, to me, it's just a case of he's clapping back at that lady about, hey, I was basically a nerd, nobody. You didn't want to have anything to do with me when I was in school. Now I'm somebody, and now you want to be my friend. Kind of like, it's the same kind of reaction anyone might have, say you won the lottery. $350 million. You're going to get a lot of friends whenever, you get that. So that's kind of like where I'm at.
I would say that this topic and what happened was illustrating like a bigger problem that we have in our community. And then we came and brought it to the panel, and then the chat further proved our point. So thank you, chat, for being a part of the show.
Well. Haran, what do you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand, Haran? No, sir. You gonna tease us?
It's not hooked up to an amp. It was just something it just happened to be here, and I was looking at the strings. I didn't realize it was in.
Haran, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. Haran is a musician.
I don't even have any chords for this right now.
For the record, Haran is a musician, and he is dropping music very, very soon. Actually, I'll start playing his music during the intro, matter of fact, so you guys can hear what he does. But he is dropping an album very, very, very soon. Follow Haran DeMarco on Instagram. Let me remove the banner so they can see all our names. This was great, George. Thank you so much for your bravery, for being here. I tell you, I give you guys a hard time, but I really, again, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys being bold and saying what the fuck you mean and meaning what you say and challenging the conversation. I never want to be an echo chamber. So it's great that you guys are here. I appreciate you guys much, and I mean that. Thank you, chat, for holding me down. Even you guys who say the stupid shit, you're entitled to your opinions as well. You talk a lot of shit, but you always come back. So obviously you see some value here, whatever that may be. What's up to Brianne LaFay in the chat, our mommy, our Black mommy, who has our first block baby. Thank you, everybody. Support the show. Cash App on the block with Jen. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be spicy as well. So come back tomorrow. I think this guest we're about to have is going to bring some heat. So I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget, Fridays is Freaky Friday, where we talk about sex and body parts, and Sexy Saturdays as well. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Tristan is not here. Who is going to be the substitute teacher?
I will.
Okay.
Get out. Ladies and gentlemen, class dismissed.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. If you're still here for any reason and enjoyed the show, please hit that like and subscribe for Mama. Don't forget to support the show. Cash App on the block with Jen. Come back tomorrow. Subscribe. Leave comments in the comment section. That also helps me in the algorithm. Glad to see you guys here. Thank you for holding me down in the chat. Thank you for all the super chats. I appreciate you much. Don't forget, if you want to donate privately, Cash App on the block with Jen. That'll be between you and I, because people don't like knowing, people don't like people knowing where their money is going, and that's fine. That's what the Cash App is for. All right, guys. Good night. Good night. And I'm out. I see you, Tristan. You were supposed to be here to dismiss the class. Viste lo que pasó. Good night, guys.